Mm-hmm.
Yo, what is up? This is DPS podcast. This is Damage Per Second podcast, episode number 54. And I am your host, Slow Mo Backslap, here with the homie Gaming Forte. And we got a lot to discuss tonight. Hope you guys are having a great night yourselves. I know I am. Forte, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I was off work today. Oh my God, sitting at home watching Squid Games. Man, it's been a great day. Getting caught up on What If.
You still
I just started.
Nice. Okay,
I'm on episode 4 now.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Your man, Squid Game is on a whole nother level, man.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Let me shout out some people in the chat real quick. Shout out to Dravenero, that guy Smitty, Spider 13, and After His Passion is in the house. We're gonna get started in here. So well, first off, Forte, let everyone know what you've been up to over the past week and what you've been playing.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody know I've been playing Destiny, but I've been playing Battlefield a lot, which I know we're gonna discuss in this podcast too. Halo, which ended last weekend, which was amazing and great. And outside of that, just playing. I started playing Far Cry 6. I played a little bit of that today in between Battlefield while I was at home. So
good.
I've been messing around with that
because that's the topic. I'm glad.
I know.
Yeah, that's. He says after his passage, says you guys are cutting in and out. Interesting. Hold on. Let me check the audio real quick.
Slow Mo did it.
I don't hear anything. It's okay. It says okay. He says there you go. We're good. Okay. Maybe YouTube was having some issues because I did notice that we had some people that were waiting, and then once we went live, it like dropped down, like as if like things weren't working correctly. But hopefully we're all good. Hopefully we're all good to go. You guys can hear Forte, okay, right? Forte, say something real quick.
Yo, what is up, gentlemen and ladies? Of course. They can probably hear me.
Yeah. I see your levels peaking, so I think we're good. So yeah, like let's see. You said you were playing Halo Infinite. Of course, Halo Infinite and Battlefield we can talk about later. Also Far Cry 6. Basically everything you've been playing, we need to talk about once we actually get into the topics.
So I've been playing all new games, new stuff. Not old stuff.
I'm proud of you.
Not stuff that's been out since 2017.
Well, I've been playing old stuff, and is that a shot? Because my footage right now is the Division. Sounds like a shot, sir.
I was listening to you in the dark zones, like, yo, man, go down there and kill that guy. Wait a minute, hold up, let me kill that dude. Let me go get my loot before time.
No, all right. So here's the wild thing, right? With that is that I couldn't. Okay, here's the weird thing about streaming as well as because like normally when I've been doing that, I've never streamed the Division before, and I've ranked. I got the last achievement necessary to fully 100% the Division 1. Uninstalled the game, did it live a couple nights ago, and to be able to do that, right? So like you have to defeat a really difficult hunter enemy at the end to get out. And I'm trying to fight this enemy. The weird thing is that I got a notification that popped up. So like my alerts popped up. I think somebody either followed me or somebody subbed to the channel or something. Something happened right when one of my shots, because like me and the hunter are trading shots back and forth. I dropped him, but because the notification for the alert came up, I didn't see it, and then I almost died. So I actually drew back, like I dodge rolled back, and I let the support station I had down bring my health back up. And so I didn't even realize it. So like I didn't think I killed him, and at no point did I realize that the gear that he drops, the loot that he drops when you kill him was just glowing. It's just glowing like, please pick me up, like right there. And I'm just like,
you was on your horse, bro.
Man, I was like, yo, what's going on? Where'd he go? This has never happened before. He just disappeared. And then some other dude shows up. And I'm like, man, let me bring your hunter over here, because usually that's what happens, is that somebody, whenever anyone shows up to an extraction point, your hunter spawns. Now, what the way people was getting around that is that they would actually show up to a extraction while it was live, then run away. So their hunter would spawn, and then they would have their hunter fight somebody else. So another player has to fight your hunter for you, because some people just weren't just skilled enough to kill that hunter. And then they would either go to a completely separate extraction and extract, because your hunter will only spawn once. Or they'll wait for their hunter to get killed. Or if their hunter is low on health, they'll try to clean up after the hunter killed the other agent that was just out there already fighting his own hunter. It's wild. It was like a weird chess match that happens in the survival Dark Zone. So that's what I thought was going on. I thought dude was like trying to get me to kill his hunter, and I'm just like, bro, I'm not fighting your hunter for you. I will sit right here on this rooftop. But then when he jumped down and he started running for the chopper, I was like, nah, fam. All right, fam. Go ahead and get headshot. You know. Then I looked and I saw the loot from the hunter I killed down there, and I was like, oh, the chopper is coming down because the chopper won't come down unless there's no enemies around. So I'm like, the chopper came down because I killed him. I didn't even see him die. So like that's when I ran down there. I almost didn't get there in time. I had like 5 seconds left before the chopper was about to leave. But I did finally get the achievement. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, but I've been playing a lot of older games, actually. I played that. I think I might play some Battlefield Hardline. I was talking with my homie Blue. Shout out to Blue. We were playing Battlefield 2042, and then someone in the chat brought up, because I was streaming it, somebody in the chat brought up Battlefield Hardline. And I was like, man, Battlefield Hardline was actually a really good game. Actually, I think it was K Asante. Shout out to K Asante. And the Gaming Circle podcast and Everborn. Those are the homies. And he was talking about how good Battlefield Hardline was. And I was like, yeah, I actually kind of felt like Battlefield Hardline was ahead of its time, if you think about it. There are a lot of games out there right now that are designed the way Battlefield Hardline is designed. Although sales-wise, Battlefield Hardline didn't sell because the Battlefield community, that's not what they were looking for in the Battlefield game. They weren't looking for if you think about it, Battlefield Hardline is very much kind of like Siege. And in regards to having two different teams with like separate objectives, and it's very realistic based, where if you get, you can get headshot and you can be up out of there, like it can be really fast. And so I thought that it was really good, and I thought that Battlefield Hardline was kind of influential in some other games we see right now that are successful, being as successful as they are. But being the first doesn't always work out for you. You can be the first, and then someone else takes your idea and does it better. But all that said, go ahead, man.
I think they scale. It's been a while since I played Hardline. Didn't they scale the player count back in that one too?
I don't remember, man.
I think it was only 32 on 32.
When I played Battlefield Hardline, it was already a dead game. Like it still had like a little small knit community that would play it, and I played it with some of my Division friends in between like content drops. You know how it is when you play a looter and then there's no content, you go play other stuff, right? So like that's what we played Battlefield Hardline for a while. We would switch between that and Siege, but there was go ahead.
No, I said the single player was fun. I liked the single player.
I didn't even know there was single player, and that's why I want to reinstall the game and play it again. That's the whole purpose of me bringing it up, is that I'm gonna play it on PC though, because I've never played it on PC. So I'm gonna see how well I can
be ready for all those lens flares.
There's a lot of lens flares.
It's a lot of lens flares.
It's like it was directed by Michael Bay.
Man, I mean, it's cops and robbers, man. You get it on the floor. In comes the lens flare.
That guy Smitty in the chat says that we gotta talk about Kingdom Hearts coming to Switch. I'm like, well, why? Why do I need to talk about that?
It should run on there.
I mean, like it's Kingdom Hearts. One, you know what? It deserves to be on the Switch. It ain't got the story. Don't make no sense. Nintendo don't make no sense. So they're a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned.
Nintendo makes all types of sense, sir. That's why they got a Game of the Year contender in Metroid coming out tomorrow.
Oh my
they're
god!
Releasing
you know what?
They're releasing new hardware tomorrow.
It will be a Game of the Year contender.
They're releasing amiibos tomorrow. That's going to sell for 4 times the amount of the value the moment they hit people's hands. It's going to be a great day for Nintendo tomorrow.
Yeah, they're gonna make a lot of money off
of
these stooges out here. They just keep giving them everything they got. It's crazy. Shout out to Ramon Terrell with the $5 Canadian. He says, here's to the homies. Much love to you too, and here's to all the success you deserve and to come. That is what's up. I appreciate you,
sir.
Ramon. I appreciate you. You know that the alert didn't pop. Oh, there it is. Never mind. It popped there. Shout out to Persona in the chat. What's up, man? Hope you're having a great night, sir.
What's up, Persona? Great show last week too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For everyone listening, please check out What's Up PlayStation. Last Saturday, they gaming with Persona and the homie Jay Bari were blessed to be able to do an interview with the great Sean Layden, ex-Sony executive. Sean Layden had actually a really great interview. You guys did a great job. It was very well organized. They had their questions all laid out. It was like, you know, they had stages and everything. It was really good. It was really good. He dropped some nice nuggets and some good thoughts about, you know, his view of things in the gaming industry and where things are going. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we also need to get those 2 gentlemen over here on this show because we gotta talk about this this website that they released and they are co-founders on. And
with Pony Dust Nation? We ain't talking about we are not talking about Pony Dust Pegasus Nation on this spot. No, we can have a conversation offline. We ain't gotta have a conversation on DPS about crazy ponies on drugs.
They over here segregating the freaking PlayStation.
The only way
right now
you can think that you are a Pegasus, which is a mythical creature that doesn't exist, is if you on drugs. That's the only way that like you guys got an Optimus stash. Those drugs. And shout out to Optimus Code, but those drugs is for his medication to keep him alive. Y'all out here ODing on it. It's crazy. Man. It's crazy out here.
Man, did you go to the website though? Did you click on the website's link?
I have been to the website before.
You have been there. So you seen the founders all at the bottom of the page and all of their nice little, you know, flavor text under their names and talk about how they big boss and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, look, I will say this about the website. And I saw something, a link. Someone sent a link on Twitter in regards to something they have on their website that I do appreciate, and it's calling out those who are who basically just keep it a buck, racist in the gaming community, racist, sexist, you know, yes. People who are very much excluding of other people for things that they cannot control. Basically douchebags, right? And absolutely. they not only I said something about this to one of our friends, and I was talking, and it was in response to a Twitter space where there was actually a full day of Twitter spaces where people were talking about racism in the gaming community, and people were upset that a certain community was being called out, and people felt like everyone should be called out. Well, look, and my whole thought was, you know, talking is fine, but what are we going to do about it, right? Like, you can talk about something's a problem, but then after it's acknowledged that something is a problem, all right, so what now, right? So, like, what are you doing now about it? Is it just talk, and then we just say, man, somebody got to do something, but no one ever does, and then we keep having these kind of like circular, like cyclical discussions where we keep bringing up the same things that keep happening, and people keep doing and saying the same things that, and them being supported by others who seem to, if not agree with them, just ignore what they say and do strictly because of the piece of plastic or platform that they support, which is asinine to me. But I did like that they have a page there that actually highlights the people that are doing those things and showing people, exposing what they're saying and what they're doing, and how that's not cool, and so that like people can make the decision to from there choose not to engage with those people. And of course, it's a choice that other people have to make, to choose to stand up and not worry about your platform, not worry about being canceled by your audience. This is why I'm so glad that I have made my channel the way it is, that I do DPS podcasts with you, because we are on the same accord of we don't give a F about what other people feel about our thoughts and opinions. There is no, well, I can't say this or I can't say that. Look, if this is how we feel, this is how we feel. And I'm glad to be a gamer of zero allegiance, because there's never like this pull to kind of like be nicer to a platform, or I try not to be like overly mean anyway to anybody. Every now and then I gotta. Hey, look, hold on. Let me finish. You to correct it, man. Let me finish. Go ahead. I try not to be like, look, I will say some things that are mean about like a game or a company, because that's how I feel. But I'm not like singling someone out because of anything other than what the actual topic is, situation is. In those individual instances. For example, I could have a problem with something that, say, like, I could have a problem with the fact that Phil Spencer said they were going to do VR, and then they now, instead of announcing they weren't going to do VR, they just tried to say, oh, well, our community don't want VR. I had a problem with that, because you said you were going to bring VR, and the very next thing that we hear years later is that, well, none of y'all want VR. Well, who are you talking to? Because like, you clearly, like, that's not how you communicate to your community, right? I can say that, and then and in the very next instance say, hey, well, they have a lot of first party studios that I think are quality studios that I enjoy their games, like Obsidian, the Coalition, and Arcane, Machine Games. Like, it's like you can be balanced, and it's just like and some people can't be balanced, and it's okay. It is what it is. But I enjoy the freedom of just saying whatever the heck I want to say, and people understand that that's how I'm going to be. But anyway, I'm rambling. We have another super chat from the homie After His Passion, $10 super chat. He says, to the best and smartest two-man gaming podcast, I appreciate you guys. High IQ and entertaining. Sir, After His Passion, like, typically he's trolling us, but I don't think he's trolling at this point.
He's stroking egos right now.
Hey, I am all for it. I am all for it, sir. But let's get into, before we get into the topics, because, well, actually, I didn't finish talking about everything I've been playing. I have been playing some of the games that we're going to talk about later, but I've been playing Bioshock Infinite, and I've been streaming that. I've been really enjoying it. It lives up to the reputation that it kind of had from what I knew of what people said about the game, about the story being really good. Yeah, I agree. The story's pretty awesome. I like the story. I like the fact that it's pretty brutal and gets really in your face about a lot of themes that are you could say are tried and true things that are typical American. So it's pretty cool. Gameplay's not that bad. It's got weird shooting. Like, I'm not a Bioshock fan, so maybe this is the way the shooting has always been. I only played part of Bioshock 1, and I don't even remember how the game played back then, right? But
the shooting's kind of weird.
The shooting is weird. Like, the ADS is to push in the right thumbstick, and like that kind of threw me off. Every time I start playing it again,
that's Halo style.
It was Not anymore. But
it still is how Halo's played.
look,
Right.
it throws me off every time I start playing it.
Right.
It kind of throws me off, and I'm just like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, the controls are just so weird. But then once, like, give me like 5 minutes, and I'm like, I'm back in, I'm back in the zone with it. But it's really good. I'm enjoying it. I just kind of, I think I'm right close to a big plot twist that actually part of the plot twist had already occurred and near the end of my last stream, and I was just like, yo, what the heck is going on? So I'm really kind of excited in playing it again. Hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Saturday. But I've been playing that. You'll be shocked to hear I've actually been playing Cyberpunk, man. I beat Cyberpunk already. For some
I didn't know you
reason,
beat it.
Yeah. I beat Cyberpunk January. In January, I beat it. I struggled through it because you know how as buggy as it was, and even on PC, it was a struggle. By the way, thank you again for the game because I won that bet. Anyway, so now
hell yeah, you're welcome. I got it on the discount.
I thought that so. I thought it had a pretty decent story. Not as good as people would expect from CD Projekt Red, but I thought it was a decent story. I always wanted to go through it again and make some different choices to see different outcomes, as you would typically do with a lot of like Western RPGs, right? But also kind of go with a different origin because my origin from my first game was Street Rat. And there's 3 origins: the Street Rat, Corpo, and what's the Nomad? That's it. The people who are live outside the city. So I wanted to do Corpo, and I actually kind of wish I would have did Corpo from the start because Corpo gives you kind of like a lot of insight in some conversations about certain things because you used to work for like the big corporation at the game. Things that other people, like the Street Rat, just had no clue of knowing. And it just gave me kind of a little bit deeper insight. Plus, I spent like a good 3 or 4 hours optimizing my the game to my rig and getting it working in a way that works best for me. As everyone know, that game is super demanding. I'm playing it at native 1440p, ultra settings, medium ray tracing, and I'm getting 60 frames per second locked at 60 frames per second on my 3070. So it's not bad at all.
You sure like taking your frame rate for that feature, don't you?
Well, look,
you only see it in certain things.
But in Cyberpunk is everywhere. The ray tracing, it's almost like night and day. I could like turn it off. Like I could turn it off, and it changes the way I only have one ray tracing feature off, and I think it's shadows. But I have
why does lighting, shadow need ray tracing?
Yeah, it's also the one that has the least hit on your hardware, but it also doesn't do as much. I have ray traced illumination on, ray traced lighting, and those just completely transform the way the game looks, especially in the city. In that city, like that city's beautiful with ray tracing on, but it's only like 15 frames per second. So like I basically went from 75 frames per second to 60. Yeah. And when I was at 75 with ray tracing off, it wasn't a lock 70. It was like you know how it fluctuates. So it'll be like 75, then hit 80, then it'll hit like 67. Yeah, look. Lock 60, don't have to worry about it. So I'm actually playing that and enjoying it because one thing I will say they have done on the PC side is that the bugs are so far at a minimum. I haven't so I haven't put the so far in.
They're manageable right now.
Yeah, like I mean I could very well get a car land on me at any point in time with the way that game is. But
wow.
Let's move on. There was a topic that kind of came up that is, before we get into our scheduled topics, something that kind of came up before we went live, or a little bit earlier in the day, and shout out to, I think it was Replicant, while I was streaming Bioshock Infinite earlier today. Replicant brought it to my attention. There was an interview from gamesindustry.biz, who I love them. They're like my favorite gaming like media source, because they're really like on top of things, and they have a lot of sources. Look, they're great. Their website's great. Their YouTube channel's great. Check them out. So I had completely forgot, right, that they had a scheduled interview with Jim Ryan, and so that has been kind of like a little bit of a conversation today. And I thought that we could get into it and discuss it real quick. Let me go pull that up. I actually have it set for the actual part of the interview that is the most interesting. And to kind of like get into it real quick, it's a 20-minute interview, 22-minute interview. A lot of it is about Jim Ryan's past. You can find that stuff interesting if you care for it.
I actually was pretty interested in hearing him talk about.
I didn't know. I didn't know he was there from the very beginning.
Yeah, since '94.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they were struggling as they were during the time of like PlayStation's biggest success with PlayStation 2. Like, I didn't know how bad
I didn't know
it was.
Europe was that bad.
Yeah, I had no idea it was that bad there. But the big thing about this interview that is the biggest I guess point of contention, or people are discussing, is right here. I'm about to pull it up right now. And so this is near the end of the interview, and this is the question that was asked to Jim Ryan and his answer. Oh, crap. Hold on. I don't think you guys can hear it. Hold up. I can hear it, but I don't think you guys can. So
you got to turn on your desktop audio other way.
Yeah, I'm going to have to switch this to that real quick. Okay. Let's go.
I hope the PlayStation 5, and I really believe the PlayStation 5 will be Sony's biggest and best and most loved PlayStation yet. I hope that will happen. I'd also like to see a world where the games that we make at PlayStation can be enjoyed by many tens of millions of people, perhaps hundreds of millions of people. Because right now, success with the existing console model, a really great PlayStation hit, you're talking 10 or 20 million people able to play that game. And if you compare that, and we're talking about games stacking up against music, we're talking about games stacking up against movies. Music and movies, they can be enjoyed by almost limitless audiences. And I think some of the art that our studios are making is some of the finest entertainment that's been made anywhere in the world. And to kind of gate the audience for the wonderful art, the wonderful entertainment these studios are making, to gate the audience for that at 20 or 30 million frustrates me. And I'd love to see a world where hundreds of millions of people can enjoy those games.
Wow.
Okay. Hopefully, I see after it's back and say no audio. I hope you guys were able to hear. Okay, good. Okay, so, excellent. So let me go switch back here. Interesting, huh? So Forte, what are your thoughts on that? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta switch the audio back. You're gonna have to restart, man. It's so much with this show. Real quick, shout out to the Liz22 for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you, Liz. Forte, please restart your answer to my question. Go ahead.
No, so I was saying, it's a lot of stuff to unpack there, but it also is not really out of step from what he was kind of saying, you know, late and early last year, where he's talking about PlayStation. He wanted the games to be experiences, blockbusters. He wanted to be like that summer blockbuster movie that you went to the movie theater to go see and enjoy by many and stuff. And this isn't really anything kind of new to me. It's just kind of going back to that conversation, like what Phil Spencer was talking about, with games not being tied behind a particular piece of tech or a device. Is he saying that they're going to do the Microsoft route? No, but he's also saying that he used the word gate. And when you hear the word gate used, he's using it in a manner of saying the PlayStation platform, the console itself, is the gate that is stopping a lot of people that they want to experience those games. He wasn't shy in saying that. Now, how they're going to go about opening the gate and to allow people to experience these titles in a more meaningful way outside of just only a PlayStation platform, who knows? It could be the direction they're going right now when it comes to PC games, getting it like 6 months to a year later. It could be the thing that we all talked about on this show, where it comes to a subscription model like PlayStation Now, where something like that, you know, they sell the game and then 6-7 months later, they, you know, it kind of hits like the greatest hits and it hits inside of their subscription model and stuff like that. There's so many ways they can go about this, but the only thing this thing basically tells me is Jim Ryan has been basically telling people the truth for the last year and a half when it comes to a bunch of stuff that he's been saying. So
he's not Jim Lying Ryan. He's Jim the truth sayer Lion.
Oh no, he's definitely a liar when it comes to certain things. He lied about it. I mean, you know, when it comes to like where
Horizon Forbidden West being the most recent one.
Where games are going to be played at and stuff like that. But I think part of that is just the conversation of, I truly believe if we were in a pandemic year, a lot of the games that you did see go cross-platform, as much as people want to say you can't leave 120 million people behind, they will absolutely leave 120 million people behind if they can live up to the demand of what the PlayStation 5 was able to put out. But they couldn't do that, and they had a whole year of analytics that basically told them that, yo, we aren't going to have the hardware to do this. And it's not like it's super hard to scale games down to be on another platform, especially when you're talking about this being the first platform where it's x86.
That depends, because we're still early. And
we're still early.
So like games aren't being designed specifically from the ground up with these new consoles and systems in mind, and the freedom that the hardware these new systems provides hasn't impacted the pre-production stage of game development yet, where people are saying, hey, you know, let's go do this wild idea, right?
Right. So
let's have some wild kind of AI happening thing, something that wouldn't be possible in previous consoles. So like in some way, it's early enough now where you can actually do what you said, which is, you know, we intend on making this exclusive to just PlayStation 5, but we can downsize that if we
can downsize that. Yeah. I mean, even the developers over, I forget who said it, but when they were talking about Rift Apart, they said Rift Apart absolutely could be done on a PlayStation 4. You will sacrifice some stuff to make it happen.
It will actually also be a different technique. So like the developer said that you can do it, like there is a way to do it. There's a way that other games have done it in the past, but it's not the way that Insomniac was doing it. It's not the way that
Insomniac did it, and it's probably, and let's be for real, it might be it. And this goes back to that thing that I said. Ratchet & Clank has never been a world beater when it comes to like overall sales. So it was like one of the perfect, that and Returnal were like kind of the perfect games to say these are exclusive to the platform. So we could say we do have exclusive games that's on this platform. And whatever sales they do get. Like, granted, they want to get as many sales as possible, but if you look at like the last Ratchet and Clank that hit PS4, and that hit when it was like over 80-90 million people on the platform and stuff, and it sold well, but was it going to sell like numbers like Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that, where you're going to see like a drastic drop in the sale if you don't put it on PS4? I think they just did a calculated thing. Said the games that we know are going to be world beaters, we're going to put everywhere. The ones that we can kind of sacrifice and say we're going to put these on a particular platform to give value to that platform. That's what they did. In my opinion, that's what they did with like Ratchet and Clank and Returnal and stuff. And those were both great games. But all this thing basically tells me is what Phil Spencer's been saying for a long time about where the industry is going and the direction that a lot of publishers and manufacturers are going to go in is this. They're just going to do it probably we don't know. They're going to do it probably in a different way that Microsoft is doing it. And I know that that's going to be the number one thing that people's going to come out of their mind from this interview. They're going to copy Microsoft. They're going to do what Microsoft is doing. No, they didn't say that. They're just saying this is the direction we're looking to go in. And how they get to that direction could be a myriad of different ways.
Exactly. So like that's the point I was going to touch on, is that you could have the same goal as someone else, but then think that there's a different way to achieve that goal. And we all know about the strengths and weaknesses of all these corporations. And a major strength of Microsoft is cloud computing. Microsoft has, outside of gaming, massive interest, and it really is at this point in time their biggest revenue gain is Azure Cloud and what they do with cloud in regards to all of their services, and it's now becoming like the foundation of everything that they do now. Just because that is how they are trying to achieve getting Microsoft gaming, to more people in the world outside the console space, doesn't mean that also has to be exactly how Sony does it. So that's not Sony's strength. And we heard Jim Ryan talk about blockbuster games. Like you hear the word blockbuster and you think about movies. In that interview, he mentioned music and movies multiple times. Clearly,
how ambiguous they are for people to just experience. There's no wall in front of you to be able to listen or watch stuff like that.
Right. And so he's seeing the way that their company has approached Sony Pictures, the way that they have used and leveraged a lot of the resources that they already have to make sure that their games have an appeal, have a certain signature that is unique only to them, and you can't really see it anywhere else. And he knows that is something that will resonate in more than just on the PlayStation. And so for those who may have thought that what they were doing with putting games on PlayStation was going to end with the PlayStation 4, I think he pretty much solidified with those comments in that interview that's just not the case. Eventually we will see more of their games, PlayStation 5 games at some point, only PlayStation 5 games going to PC. And I actually think a little bit further than that. So let's go back to, remember the partnership they made with Microsoft, and this wasn't a PlayStation deal. This was a
Sony. Yeah,
that was a Sony deal.
Sony deal.
This wasn't a PlayStation Xbox deal. This was a Sony Microsoft deal. This was above the heads of Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer. This was a deal made among CEOs and the boards and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, since Phil is on the board, that he knew about this at some point. But the point I'm making here is that at some point PlayStation is going to revisit putting their games in more places than just PlayStation and PC. I think they're going to approach the mobile side of things with like remote play, PlayStation Remote Play. bringing that up and trying to find a way to make that be more relevant to a PlayStation gamer. I think all of those things are going to eventually be things that they will reintroduce to the gaming scene. I mean, not that it's ever been gone. It's still there. You can use remote play right now. But I think those are things that they're going to bring back in a way that where they're going to market it and they're going to reinforce the infrastructure, or maybe just completely revamp it under what have it be powered by Azure, where they know that they don't have to worry about building that infrastructure out and spending the money that they have to spend, which is a sizable amount of money on the R&D to get that, not just to get it to a place where you can actually roll it out, but for it to actually be good, right? So you want it to be good, then you can actually go to someone who's reliable, who's already doing it. They could have gone to Google, Amazon, or Microsoft. And so they chose Microsoft. Now, I think that at some point we're going to see that coming again. We're going to see them push those things again. But as of now, if anyone's out there thinking day and date this, launch day games on PC, that I think I still need to pump your brakes.
Right.
Because I don't think that's going to happen. They understand. There's a couple things here, right? One, they do understand that PC is a different demographic. That there are people who they're only PC gamers. They don't like consoles. They don't like the closed environment. They don't really care for that. But they might actually play and enjoy your games if they had the opportunity to play the games. And so there was something that Sean Layton said on What's Up PlayStation with Persona and Jay Barry about bringing the games to the gamer. Like, don't be so staunch and then you want to play the game, but come over here. Spend that $300-$400, buy my PlayStation and play my game. Well, you know what? Let's bring it to you. Let's bring you that game. And now you see what you've been missing out on, and maybe you will make the decision. You will initiate the decision to go buy a PlayStation so that when the sequel comes out, you don't have to wait the year or two or whatever it takes for it to show up on PC. Or maybe you feel like waiting because you want to play it at its best with your high-powered rig. So be it. Yeah. The choice is yours, right? Now, I think that has always been the intention, as Sean Layton has said, about where they were going with putting games on PC. I think Jim Ryan is kind of expanding upon that now. Not saying things are going to go day and date, but I don't think they are trying to get people to buy PlayStations the way they intentionally meant it to be. I think now they're just like, well, if you want to play over there, that's fine. But what we're going to do first is get our sales here. And then we'll focus on getting sales there. And then we'll focus on anything after that. You feel me? Like we'll do it in stages instead of where Microsoft is just like, we're developing this game from alpha to omega with every platform we can think of in mind. Well, not necessarily in mind. Develop for immediately. Like those are the differences. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with either of them having a different philosophy and trying to reach as many gamers as possible. It's just a whole different method to get to that same destination, that same result. That you're reaching, as Jim Ryan said, beyond PlayStation to gamers, and instead of just getting 100 million, that could potentially buy your games, you're now getting far, far more than that. So I thought that was a really cool quote to kind of get into. You have any further thoughts on it?
No, it just lets me kind of know the direction that it's not one direction that's going to win the day when it comes to video games. The other thing that I really enjoyed that he said is he kept it about the games and stuff. He always kept coming, like when he was talking about what makes PlayStation great. How he even said PlayStation is a cool brand. Like, he understands that the popularity of the platform is one of his defining traits in the community. I really like the fact that, you know, he actually acknowledges that, because sometimes people say like, oh, granted, they look at all of these, everybody that buys a PlayStation, you're really just a number, but they also understand, they know you're a number, but they also understand that behind that number is a community of people that will support their platform as long as they keep doing the one thing that he kept harping back to, which is the games. And that's the one strength that Sony has had consistently since the inception of the platform. And I think he really spoke to that really well during that 21-minute interview. Cool.
All right, now let's move on into our actual topics. So here we go. First topic up is Far Cry 6 impressions, and I think excuse me for a second, because I got like something in my throat. Hold on. Okay, I'm good.
Clear my throat.
Oh man, you taking me back, man. We old. No. So Far Cry 6 came out technically today, right?
Yes.
Okay, technically today. I'm not playing this game. I'm not. I'm done with Far Cry. I can't do it no more. I can't. I will give my reasons later on after you're done, Forte, about why I'm not going to play Far Cry 6. But I know you've already had your time with it. What are your thoughts on the game?
Okay. So I don't know why I went to this thinking it was going to be any different, because it isn't. It's still a Ubisoft game. It's still Far Cry. I like the cast in this game a lot better than previous ones.
Okay.
I do think the voice acting is another level. I mean, I think, you know, when you add the people that they added to, you know, the cast of this, it can't do nothing but be another level up, because people have an understanding of the people that are actually talking, and they know the demeanor of those people and stuff. So I think that kind of helps it. I also think the customization inside the game is pretty good for not just good, really good.
Well, let's break that down. What do you mean the customization? You mean like with weapons or what?
The weapons you can do some stuff with, but I'm just talking about just making your character your own. Like, you know, that's something that I felt like it's kind of lackluster in previous Far Cry games, or non-existent in previous Far Cry games.
Like the personalities, like the guy in Far Cry 5 is just a nothing, a nobody.
A nobody, yeah. Exactly. And so I think just that alone brings a little bit more depth to it. And as much as this is, you know, as much as they put a focus on the narrative of this game, the focus of the bad guys and stuff in the game, it's not the focus as it's been in previous Far Cry games. Like Voss, it was all about Voss. It was all about Jason C. It was all about these people, and it was like that lead up to getting to that point of the game, going against them. It was like certain things you could take, you know, certain things you could do without. But it was like they made those characters. I mean, a Voss of all of them was larger than life, and we all know what happened in that story. But outside of that, it was like, yo, it always left you wanting for more. And I like the direction they're kind of going. They're like letting you know that there's this higher person that you are going after. It's like more of this freedom fighter type thing that's going on in this game, which is a little different compared to, you know, it's not like this super vendetta. You're basically rallying up a country to go against the overlords that are trying to overthrow it and stuff like that. I'm like about 2 hours in, 2.5 hours in, and I'm enjoying it, but I can't lie and tell you that it's nothing but another Far Cry game. The moment you start looking at the map and you start seeing things that's happening, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this reminds me. I can see some of the little things that they tried to improve on when it comes to the questing, which I think is going to probably be a little bit more not in your face for every little thing you need to do as you're playing. But
it still has that whole the typical Ubisoft open world design where there's the tower and you go to the tower, you look at the entire area of the region, and then you take out, you know, all the side missions or the targets of that region, and then you fight the mini boss or the sub boss of that region, and then you knock it out, and then you do the rinse and repeat for a while until you get
on our way to doing some of that stuff because we haven't gotten to the first boss yet, but we're on our way to doing some of that stuff. I got the crocodile as my companion, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. You know, I want the dog, but you know, that's for another day. But no, I'm enjoying it. I just don't know, am I gonna fall off this game? Because I was enjoying Far Cry 5 up until I went into, I forget his sister's territory.
Oh yeah, that got bliss.
The hallucinations, the bliss.
Yeah, that got a little wild. Like, is this magic or is it drugs? Because it's like, what? It's like just some of this stuff isn't possible.
After she knocked me out for the third time, I was done with that game, bro. I was done. I was like, and I hear that, you know, it gets a lot better. It's just that after a certain while, you just kind of tire of that formula. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't want to do it no more. So I'm just hoping that because I'm going to keep playing it, it just comes down to, is it going to have any of those pitfalls that's going to make me be like, nah, man, this is too much. You're making me do the same thing over and over again. And I just kind of want to get through this.
Okay. For me, it was okay. So like, I played through Far Cry 5. I beat Far Cry 5 when it came out.
Okay, you actually beat it. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of wild about Far Cry 5 is that you can actually finish the game in like 5 minutes. Did you know that?
What?
You can beat Far Cry 5 in 5 minutes. So, and you know, in the very, very beginning, when you show up with the marshals,
yeah,
and you're there to arrest the cult leader. Can't remember his name.
Jason.
And so he extends his arms out and he says, and like you're already apprehensive, and you're telling the marshal that we probably shouldn't do this right now with the way things are. Yeah. And he reaches when he extends his wrist for you to put the handcuffs on him, and the marshal's like telling you to put the handcuffs on. You actually have the choice to not do it.
Really?
Yeah, like there is you have to actually press the button and to actually put the handcuffs on them, and that kind of sets off the course of events that have the game be what it is. If you don't do anything after maybe like a minute, then I think the marshal gets a change of heart, realizes this might be a bad idea, and you guys leave, and you can actually prevent all the death and destruction and stuff that ends up happening and the way it ends.
What happens to the game after you do that? Does it roll credits?
It actually, I think it did roll credit. I think I did it after I beat the game, and then someone told me that you could do that, and I was like, no, seriously?
I mean, like a secret achievement or something.
Yeah, so I actually like restarted the game just to see that, and yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember it roll credits or now, but I mean, of course,
regulation said it does roll credits.
Yeah,
wow, I didn't even know that.
It was pretty wild. Now, this is the format of Far Cry, right? And it's been like this ever since 3. You get a very persuasive, charismatic antagonist that is the show. He is the show. He or she is the showstopper. And now at this point, they're actually decided to go in the route of getting a very famous, high quality actors to do that as well. And so that's what we're seeing with Far Cry 6. It's there. It's the focus. but it's also there to hide that there isn't anything else that's actually really new with this. Like, I see the rooster with the rocket launchers. You know what that reminded me of? The bear in Far Cry 5.
The bear in Far Cry 5.
You know, it's like I'm just, everything that I've seen from the game keeps reminding me of everything that they've already done, and I know that there are people who are there for that. They love Far Cry, and and this is what they want. I'm just after Far Cry 3. I don't think I finished 4, but then also playing through 5. I need some, and just dealing with the typical Ubisoft gameplay loop that is prevalent in all of their games. I'm just done. And I do appreciate that the protagonist this time seems to have a personality, and they got cutscenes. Like, I'm seeing, like, in the footage I'm showing, I've seen the female protagonist, because I think they're doing the same thing where you can choose a male or a female, right? The female protagonist, I've seen her in this cutscene here, this trailer, that overview trailer I'm showing right now. I've seen her face more in that trailer than I ever did in Far Cry 5. Of the protagonist of Far Cry 5. I don't think you ever see his face.
You
ever.
don't. I don't think you ever see his face. He's faceless.
Yeah, and he's really kind of like just a nothing personality, and it's good that they're kind of going back to that, because the Far Cry 3, the protagonist had a personality, right? But I just, like, maybe I will pick this up eventually. Like, just not anytime soon. There's just so many games to play right now. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't get into something that I'm not actually hyped to play. You know.
You'll catch the sale. Shout out to Mike. He says Ubisoft makes distinctly Ubisoft games. Why is it such a bad thing? Lots of developer publishers follow a formula too. Look at COD, Square Enix, and the state of JRPGs over the past 10 years. And I always fight, even myself, because as much as the formula kind of tires me, it sounds asinine coming from me, because I play, you could probably speak to this yourself because you play Division.
Right.
We play games inherently that make you do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and have no problems with doing it. I think it's a little different. I don't know if it's for you, but for me, it being a co-op experience where you can play with other people, it's like, yeah, the content is the same, but the experience is different because you're doing it with different people, just even if you're doing with the same people, the conversation, half the time you're not even really paying attention to what you're doing. You're just doing it and just having fun with your friends and stuff. Compared to a game like Far Cry, you're going into it trying to understand the story, but then you're doing the things that kind of make you feel like the story's dragging on, because it is a story-based game and there isn't anything to kind of just distract you other than the kind of crazy stuff that happens in the game over the course of the 20 to 25, 30 hours that you play it. So for me, I really enjoy the game. It just comes down to how much of the game am I going to enjoy all at one time. I feel like perfect example, Immortal Phoenix Rising was the best way that I've never seen Ubisoft make a game that didn't kind of feel like it overwhelmed. It was like right on that teeter. It was like, it was weighing the scales perfectly. It was like, we're going to give you enough story. We're going to let you stay in certain areas of the game just long enough to make you feel like this was a great experience, but we're moving you on to the next.
It was a good balance. It was a good balance.
It was a really good balance.
It veered enough away from the Ubisoft formula to make it unique. And that's what I want to say to Mike, because we actually have a topic about another Ubisoft game that kind of like really gets into, I think, my gripe with Ubisoft of today, and a lot of people's gripe with Ubisoft, with Ghost Recon Frontline. But that's we'll get to that later. Mike, and my response to Mike when he says, why is this such a bad thing? Lots of developers and publishers follow a formula. Now, I agree with Call of Duty. That definitely follows a formula, and that's why I don't play Call of Duty.
That's true. That's
So
why I stopped playing it.
so I mean, like I'm not into that. Like where things don't really change. I get bored with that. I don't agree with Square Enix. If you look at Square Enix's games, they're not all cookie cutter the same, like the same gameplay loop. If you look at, like, take Final Fantasy for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake has drastically different combat than the original game, and different combat than Final Fantasy 15, which I thought was abysmal. But you know, the combat in Final Fantasy 15, as well as the story, the structure of the story, completely different than what they were doing before. So I don't think that really applies to Square Enix. He said to say that about JRPGs, you could maybe say that a lot of the stories in JRPGs follow a particular foundation that is the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say they're all like that. I wouldn't say all of them are like that. My issue with Ubisoft, and I'll touch on it lightly, because we're going to get into it even deeper later on. But very quickly, I don't like how they've taken IP that were established in other genres and now are trying to play like mix match with putting them into other popular genres. They're essentially they're chasing trends. And we see it with Ghost Recon Frontline. Now, we've seen it with Rainbow Six. We're seeing it now with the X Defiant. They're just using the Tom Clancy brand for whatever. Like this, like none of this stuff is Tom Clancy anymore. It's just like none of this stuff is what you would expect from a Tom Clancy game. People want a Splinter Cell, and because they can't figure out how to make it open world and their typical like format, we're not getting it. Like, it's just like, you don't have to make all your games the same. And I know why they do it. It's because Ubisoft probably has the most studios out of any publisher. They've got a lot of studios, and their names are all Ubisoft Singapore, whatever the city that the studio resides in, it's Ubisoft that. And then they got, other ones like Red Storm and Massive Entertainment that are bigger studios that do other things under their belt. But when you take Ghost Recon, which was a tactical shooter, where original Ghost Recon back in the day, you would plan the op before you even go in. Where everyone would go, what they would do, you would plan it all out and then execute the mission. It was so different than anything else that was any kind of shooting game back then. And I loved it. Rainbow Six is based off of the books that I used to read that Tom Clancy wrote. And those were similar to Ghost Recon, whereas Ghost Recon would be in a huge, like, it would be more outside, infiltrating a facility or something like that, or a stronghold. Rainbow Six was more like hostage recovery situations, going in, executing, taking people out. You're going into buildings kind of stuff. But this is where those games were, and now they're completely unrecognizable from what they used to be. It's the same for not Splinter Cell. It's the same for what's the game? I can't remember it. It's that people work, whatever. Look, it's the same for every IP they have, and it's just like Assassin's Creed. That's it. It's the same for Assassin's Creed, where it used to be stealth combat, and now it went to like almost like a action RPG. And then now I don't know what Assassin's Creed Infinity is. It's open world multiplayer, whatever. No one knows what that is yet, but it's definitely not anywhere near what it used to be. And I would prefer Ubisoft. I'm not saying they shouldn't make games like that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't say, oh, there's Battle Royale's hot now. Let's do a Hyperscape. I'm fine with Hyperscape, even though I thought the game sucked. But I'm fine with them coming up with a brand new IP to chase trends. But at least give people what they actually want to see from the IPs that they enjoy. And not just having them all be very, very much the same game with a different skin on it. And that's my problem. I said I was going to be short, and here I am, long-winded, going and getting all into it. That's just my feeling on it. Other people can feel differently, and that's fine. But this is why I enjoy The Division, because it's a looter shooter. But I recognize that it does the same exact thing that other games do, you know. So it's like I right now and The Division, right? Where's The Division 3 at? The looter shooter route didn't work. Okay, we're now going to copy scavengers. We're going to copy a popular PC game and have it be, and I don't care now at this point. I'll say it. I've played The Division Hardline. It's unrecognizable from The Division. It's not even close. And so, like, who is this for? Because it's clearly not for the Division community that wants a Division 3. So it's that kind of stuff that makes me really disappointed with Ubisoft, because they say they're trying to change and be different, but it's like their change and be different is we're just gonna go copy other things instead of the same format. We'll just copy other games now. It's just like, what are we doing here? Okay, all right. Let's close up Far Cry 6. Forte, you see yourself beating this game? Forte.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I said right now I see myself beating it. It just comes down to, is it going to hold me in hour 15 like it holds me in hour 3 and 4? If it holds me that long and I can get through because you know inherently I'm gonna hit a part of this game where I'm gonna be like, this is getting boring.
Right.
As long as I can get through that part, I'll beat it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I think you drop games far more than
well, there's nothing coming. People. Well, there's nothing coming out, especially with Battlefield being delayed. So there's nothing for the rest of October. Destiny's pretty dry right now, so you know, there's nothing coming out for the rest of this month. I mean, Back for Blood, and that came out today, but I didn't really like the beta that much, so
yeah. Let me go. Let's jump into Metroid Dread. So we got a Nintendo game coming out that everyone is pretty hyped for. You know, not everyone, not me, but you know, other people.
That's because you don't got a Switch.
Well, yeah. If I had a Switch, I still wouldn't get this game. You know that. I don't care about Nintendo first party. I just don't. So, but Metroid Dread's coming out. Are you getting it?
Yes, special edition.
Wow. How much is that?
90.
I can't. Okay.
Go ahead. Go smoke it up.
$90 for a side-scrolling game that barely looks better than what I would have played on Super Nintendo and NES. Really?
Listen, man. That game, when I will tell you right now, within 3 months of that game coming out, probably right after the new year, if I wanted to sell that game with the collectors, all the stuff that came with it, I will get all my money back.
What does that to do with it?
Because, you know, it's just like the same reason why I tell people, like, if you got a Switch and you enjoy your Switch, go out and get the new stuff.
You're talking about resale value. That's like...
Well, that's why you buy stuff like that. You buy stuff because of the resale value.
A scalper feels the same way.
No, scalpers don't feel the same way, because if you're actually buying it to play it like I am doing, I'm actually getting my money's worth out of it, but I'm going to maximize.
Is it worth $90? Is the game worth $90?
I mean, is any game worth 90? Well, yeah, obviously it is.
That's not the answer. No, it's not. You
yes,
know
it
it's
is.
not.
No, it is. It is worth $90. It's not
your question. Well, is any game worth $90?
No. The packaging looks cool. It comes with a really cool art book inside of it that I'm a huge fan of Metroid. So it comes down to, like, once again, Slumbo, dollar, it comes down to the eye of the beholder. Money, if it's worth it to you. Returnal wasn't worth $70 to me. This was worth $90 to me. If it wasn't for me, if it wasn't an art book, I would put it this way. It was more, I'll put it like this. I was only getting the $60 version up until 3 days ago when I found out that my store, because they only did the pre-orders for the special edition, they only did them online, so I couldn't get one because I wanted one, but I was like, well, I can't get it because it's online only. So I was gonna get the $60 version, but then I look at my shipment and they were sending me a bunch of them. I was like, oh, cool, I'm getting this now. And that's just kind of how it went and stuff. I'm kind of like that. Only certain games I'll get the biggest and best for. I did it for Breath of the Wild. I'm going to do it for Metroid. I don't do it for Mario games or anything like that. I mean, I did it. I didn't do it for a lot of games, but I'll do it for Halo if they actually had one, like a collector's edition outside of just the system and stuff. But I did it for all the Destiny versions that came out. It's just certain games that resonate with you that you'll do it for. I would have did it for the Mass Effect one, but it didn't come with the game, and I refused to buy the game and then have to go around and buy the helmet too separately. No, that's not a collector's edition to me. That's you just trying to sell me a collectible versus with the game with it.
I agree with that.
So that's the only reason I didn't get that one. But if it's something that I'm interested in and it comes with the game, I'm going to pick it up.
All right, well, look, I have nothing to say about this because I'm not playing. One, I was never a big Metroid fan, even back when I was a kid. And
you didn't like it when she took her helmet off after you beat it and you realized it was a girl for the first time?
I didn't play it to get that far, so I didn't like it. My friends told me Metroid that Samus was a girl, and not me finding out on my own. I was like, really?
Really?
Oh, all right, well, cool. It's just cool. I'm not playing it, but that's cool. That's nice. I was too busy playing RPGs back then. That's just me though, right? So
I'm with you.
The other thing,
it's gonna be a good day tomorrow, though.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be working pretty late, huh?
Oh no, I open in the morning. I'll be out of there by 5 o'clock.
Good for you. Good for you. So Switch OLED goes on sale tomorrow?
Yep.
So, okay, so what do you think about the Switch OLED, man? I looked at a bunch of reviews. I mean, I already saw all the particulars about it anyway.
Right.
But I saw the reviews of what they're saying, and a lot of the reviews that I watched were very impressed with the screen. And some of them are even recommending, even if you already own a Switch, but if you play it primarily in handheld mode, you might want to pick this one up.
Yep.
But I mean, outside of it having a bigger screen and a kickstand that's actually worth it, and not a toothpick, a real kickstand, and the fact that it actually the cradle has the dock, has a wired LAN port, which should have been there from the very start. Like, basically, it does a lot of common sense stuff that should have been there back in 2017 when it first came out. I mean,
technology has moved forward, Slow-Mo.
But look, this isn't even new technology. Like, this is old tech that should have been there from the very start.
Right.
I mean, like, do you know that they pushed the firmware update to allow people to use Bluetooth headsets?
I do.
So what that tells me, it could have been there from the very start.
Oh yeah, well, I think they said it could have been there from the very start, but they just wanted you to have this convoluted way of access to voice chat.
And that is my issue with Nintendo, because it's like it's why are these things missing?
Right.
Why do you not do these things? Like, in addition to it not having any games that really resonate with me. So, like, I'm definitely not picking this Switch OLED up. How many have you ordered, Forte?
Just one. I didn't pre-order. I'm picking it up tomorrow, though. So if it wasn't okay, there's a couple of reasons. I don't think the OLED screen was enough by itself to make me pay the extra money to get it, even though, and I do play in handheld predominantly. So if anybody was, it was going to benefit anybody, it would benefit me, but that wasn't enough. It just comes down to the fact, it just comes down to this being us once again, the same thing that I said. It's not about, selling and doing all this other stuff. It's just, I'm able to trade in my system and get $250 for it. And and then you're basically getting an OLED screen. You're getting, I'm getting newer Joy-Cons, and I'm getting
this one's $400, right?
No, $350.
$350. Okay.
So
it's $50.
$50 more because of the more you get a better screen and more space inside of it.
It's $50 less than a PlayStation 4 digital. I mean, a PlayStation 5 digital.
Yeah. Okay. And your point.
My point is that
the Switch is $100 less, and
it's overpriced.
It's not overpriced for what it is, sir.
What do you mean it's not overpriced for what it is? The actual original Switch has never gone down in price. It's a 4-year-old product.
So are we really going to compare a native in your house entertainment system like the PlayStation 5?
Is this where you pretend like it's only a handheld?
No, it's not. But it's just like, can your laptop
every Nintendo Defender does this. Every Nintendo Defender does this. You guys use it being a portable device as a crutch to allow Nintendo to screw you guys over. Anytime anyone makes any kind of comparison to what is actual competitive pricing, actual other companies giving you a little something for what they're providing, and not just screwing you over with old tech that's completely super outdated.
Terrible.
Anytime anyone makes any kind of comparison, the Stream Deck does way more.
How much is it?
The lowest one is
$500, right?
No, that's not the lowest one. The lowest one is $4. Yeah, it's $400.
Which is $100 more than a Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $100 more than a Switch and $200 more than a Switch Lite.
And it blows the Switch away.
And the Switch, but the thing the Switch Lite is completely portable. So it does blow it away because of all the stuff that it can do. But it's still more money. It's just like this, like the whole thing, like I was saying, laptops and everything. Why do you pay for the power that you have to be able to? You can hook it up to I can take my laptop right now and replace my desktop with it right now. My laptop is almost more powerful than my computer. It's up there. And I can literally just take the HDMI cable out of it and plug it into my laptop, and I have a desktop experience right here on this 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. But it also gives me ability to take it on the go. That's why those things cost like $3,000 for the light specs, where I can build it and just have it sit at my house for a fraction of that price. So people just try to always take what Nintendo's like, dude, it's a portable. Don't try to say because it's portable. Dude, you pay for portability. Is it overpriced, love? It's not overpriced. It's not overpriced.
It is overpriced.
It's overpriced for you because you don't like it.
No, it's over.
You don't appreciate it because you don't use it in a manner. You don't use it in a manner where it actually benefits you. You play. I don't even. You probably. How many times did you actually sit on your bed or sit on your couch, play with it in your hand versus just playing with it on your TV?
When I had games I really wanted to play on it, I did it often.
Okay, and you didn't find that as a benefit?
Not as much as other people, apparently. I don't think I don't think it's worth the price.
My system is not like, I can count on. I won't even count, but I can tell you right now, over the last year and a half to 2 years.
Actually, no. Let me break down why it's over. Let me break down why it's overpriced. Okay.
Go ahead.
And this is even after they have addressed some of the issues. It's been overpriced, but this is even after they've addressed some of the issues. You don't have an achievement / trophy system for your games. You have zero capability to communicate to any of your friends. There's literally no purpose in giving people your social security number / switch number, whatever. For what?
Okay.
So just so you can cyber stalk them and see what games they're playing, because that's literally the only benefit to it. You can't communicate with them. You can't even send them a message. You have a Switch Online system that's $20 that actually took features away from you. You actually had a better online system when it was free. They actually locked it down, gave you less, and then charged you $20 per month.
Okay.
The hardware is on par. That Tegra 1 chip is a NVIDIA APU. It's the first generation NVIDIA APU when NVIDIA was just getting into making a CPU and GPU chip that's all in one, an APU. They got the first generation. NVIDIA wanted to go a step up, and they said, "Nah, fam, we good with that old crap." That chip is less powerful than a launch PlayStation 4 and a launch Xbox One that came out 8 years ago. It's overpriced. It can't even run its own games well. Let's completely forget 60 frames per second, okay? Let's say 60 frames per second is asking too much, even though the Steam Deck will be doing a bunch of 60 frames per second games.
All right.
Let's go under this weirdo like assumption that 60 frames per second is should not be a target for Nintendo's platform. Let's say it's just 30. A significant number of the games on Nintendo Switch don't even keep to lock 30 frames per second. I know it, you know it. Everyone who has a Nintendo Switch knows it. So they compromise the performance of this product just to save themselves a couple of bucks on manufacturing, just to make sure that at launch in 2017 that the hardware was selling at a profit. They could have gave you better performance and did exactly what Sony and Microsoft do, and even though they still would have been less powerful, it would have at least allowed their games to run at a locked 30 frames per second, and they would have been profitable in less than a year or two. This is why it's overpriced. It's overpriced because they gave you less. And they continue to give you less than what you get from any other video gaming platform.
But does Nintendo
and
focus
the price
on
never
things?
comes down? For when it comes,
but their price of their games don't come down like that either. And guess what? You can still,
and that's still
but let me ask you something. That's
goes
why
back to them being overpriced.
No, but that's why I can turn around right now. Since the price doesn't come down, that's why I can turn around right now and trade in my Switch I got from 2018 and only lose $50 in value on it.
Well, we got a super chat real quick. Well, two actually, from the same person. After his passion with a $10 super chat, he said, "I thought price was subjective, Slow-Mo." And yes, price is subjective. And then he did the $5 super chat, said meant value. Now, to address what Passion is saying, price is subjective to a degree. Okay.
Oh, not to a degree.
Look, no, within reason. I'm saying price is subjective when it came to the whole $70 games thing, which that's a $10 increase from where games were last generation. Like, yes, price is subjective. And my example in regards to what I would pay when I said that if Square Enix came out with a Chrono Trigger remake, I would pay hundreds of dollars to play that. If they priced it at $200, guess what I'm doing? I'm paying $200 to play this Chrono Trigger remake. But that's me. And the way economics works, the higher you price something outside of its reasonable range, what people think is a reasonable cost for that, the less people are willing to spend on it. So me and maybe a couple other thousand people will be all down to spend $200 for a Chrono Trigger remake. But the vast majority of the gaming community is going to be like, Square Enix, you done lost your damn mind. No. I don't care how much of a classic it is. I'm not spending $200 for what? And so value is subjective. But when everyone's seen something, they're like, really? Like the backlash they got when they announced the Switch OLED? Because people were so set on finally Nintendo giving them something that would perform. Like it was a device that was actually made in 2021. And for it to come out and you made no changes to performance. This Switch OLED will have a nicer screen with still trash frame rates.
Oh my God.
So you're just looking at the frames drop while you play the game with a nicer pixel, better pixels. Oh joy. Better darker blacks on the screen instead of that gray that the original Switch has. That was worth the price. It's not. We all know it's not. Let's stop lying to ourselves, people. Okay, I'm done.
But yet there will be a bunch of people at my store lined up outside tomorrow.
Yes, they will. They absolutely
there will be
will.
a bunch of people trading in their old system. Some people probably just and it's the thing. We can't be mad at Nintendo for doing what's good for their business. They know it. Like, first of all, they made this system. This is the first time they ever had all white Joy-Cons. I know people that literally go out and buy
yay. All white Joy-Cons. That's so worth so
I'm
much.
not saying, listen, Slow-Mo, I'm not saying that you're not right on that, but I'm just saying they know what they're doing. The first time that they released all white Joy-Cons, they put it with a brand new system. They know there's a lot of people that just want to get all of the Joy-Cons. I know some people that collect every color Joy-Con, and if they can't get it
they need help.
They'll either import it from Japan, or
they'll
buy the system that is associated with.
Yeah, I don't know who these people are. They need.
Guess what?
They
Slow-Mo
need therapy.
is 90 plus million of different variations of those type of people. That's why when I said back in 2018, if they don't change the name of the system drastically to the point where they can't just keep stacking the sales on top of it just being a Switch, that it will become the most sold platform in gaming console history at some point. As long as they don't change the name to the point where it's Switch U or something like that, and they just keep it as Nintendo Switch, then it's inevitable until they hit that mark. I think they're over 100. They're close to 100,000 now. But it's just
probably somewhere near that, yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo doing Nintendo things, and I just think people want Nintendo to be other platforms. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. I'm not even saying that you're wrong about the whole achievement system and stuff like that, because I feel like a lot of people be capping about these Nintendo games they be playing, but there's no way that you can really check it because they don't even check it themselves. Exactly. So
there's no way to check people. Although you can see how many hours someone has played the game.
Yeah, you can see that because it's tied to all that.
But you can't. If someone says I beat Breath of the Wild, there's no way of checking.
There's no way to validate that unless they go into their game and you like see it for yourself and everything.
If they took use that trash system within the thing to actually share a screenshot within the game, that's the only way to really do it.
Right.
Shout out to After's Passion for a $5 super chat. He says, "Good point, Slow-Mo. As the price increases, the value drops from a macro standpoint. I thought I had you, bro. Good comeback. Damn you, LOL." Well, it was good. It was a good question out of this patch. I actually appreciate you bringing that up because that is something that I've always said, that price is subjective, and there could be some people that be like, "Well, Slow-Mo, you're contradicting yourself." But you can ask the question, and I answered in further context so that people could understand why this is different, and right in the macroeconomic view of things, this is how things work, and this is how and Nintendo knows this too, like how pricing is. When the popularity of an item will allow you to shift what is now considered to be a good value and what is too expensive, and we're giving this way too cheaply. We don't even have enough stock for everything that we have. We need to raise the price up in order to be able to sell, to have a good price point where we're still selling out of every unit that we have that we're manufacturing, but we're making more per unit. So like you want to find that sweet spot where you're selling it at a price that is reasonable, that what people feel is reasonable. You're making the most money off of each available unit, but then you don't want to go too far where people are saying that's too much for me, and now I'm not spending on that. This is why we see things happening in the GPU market, in the PC market, where when the first cryptocurrency boom happened and it crashed the PC gaming market in regards to pricing of things, and they saw that when there was less available stock and the prices went up, people were still buying.
Right.
So we just doubled the price of the highest end GPU of this generation, and it's still selling out. So what did Nvidia do at their very next generation? They priced it all higher.
Yeah.
Because they knew you would buy it, and it's not hurting them because they didn't have GPUs sitting on the shelves collecting dust at a price that wasn't a correct price. How you price yourself out of a market is what Sony did with PlayStation 3, with that at launch at $600. That was too much money.
Yeah.
That did not equal good value to your target demographic. They had to come off that price. Xbox One, $500 for a weaker system to the PlayStation 4, bundled with a camera that nobody wanted. Yeah. And you had no choice to buy it without it. When did they actually start selling systems again? When they took the bundle out, and that's, and they made it cheaper too, wasn't it? Was it $100 cheaper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Made it $100.
Yeah, they made it $100 cheaper.
$100 cheaper. No connect. It started selling a little bit more. I mean, damage was done, but still, it started selling
at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the way this stuff works, man. Like it's the way business works, and Nintendo's curve of what's good value, what's price is too low, price is too high. That thing is way higher than where Sony and Microsoft is, even though they price their product more expensive. Well, they should, because it's multiple times more powerful and expensive to create. So yeah, we got super off topic. That
wasn't off topic. That's what when we were talking about it, and I was like, yo, we should talk about the Nintendo stuff, and you was like, man, we're gonna spend like 5 minutes on that. I was like, okay.
You were right. But no, look, I mean, just to sum things up, I'm not getting Metroid Dread or Switch OLED. You're getting both of them, right?
Yeah, I'm getting both.
There we are. They think that the perceived value has not changed, and Nintendo is still making bank. And so, all of those hoping for a Switch 4K at some point.
This just makes it. They're gonna come with it sooner or later.
Much later than sooner.
You might buy 4 more Switches along the way before you get to it, but go come out with it.
Yeah, but next up is back to, I probably should have switched these so that we could have gone into this as we kind of transition off of Far Cry 6. Yeah, but this
is so stupid.
This is what I was talking about earlier with Ubisoft. This is my issue with Ubisoft, man. Nobody wants this. This is yet another game that they are announcing this year that is a guaranteed fail. The other one was X Defiant. Nobody asked for that. That is not what people wanted. And X Defiant, as a Division fan, as a big Division fan, they got Division assets all over the place. This is what Ubisoft does, and the reason why they reuse so many assets, they use the same game design over and over and over again, because they got all these different teams all over the world. And I'll just choose one: Ubisoft Singapore. Okay, I'm just going to name this. I don't know for a fact that they work on all the games I'm going to say they're working on, but it wouldn't surprise me, because literally all of their studios, all these little ones, are support studios for the bigger ones like Red Storm and Massive Entertainment. And then some of their other studios, like the one that's making X Defiant, is like Ubisoft LA or something like that. I think that's their name. So a lot of their studios are support studios working on multiple games at once. A great example of this is Assassin's Creed Origins having some of the same assets and buildings and stuff like that were present in Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Right.
The same thing was present with Ghost Recon Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. A lot of the same assets reused in a different game that was actually being developed concurrently at the same time, because those games came out like a year after one another. They don't have, they used to drop on average 4 games a year. Now, how do you drop 4 AAA games a year? You get a lot of teams working for you. And if those teams don't have the ability to do completely unique games for all 4 of your annual games every year, you're going to have to reuse assets. X Defiant has trucks, and I knew they were the same trucks because they had the same lettering on them. The Sarah, which is like a fictional version of FEMA in the United States, which is FEMA is a government organization that helps in disasters. Sarah is a fictional version of that were trying to stop the outbreak in the Division 1 in New York. When I saw a truck with Sarah on it in the trailer for X Defiant, I said, this is the same stuff. Same. Then I saw the guns. Literally the same gun models from the Division. I was looking at the trailer, and if any of you guys were there for the live stream where I watched it, I'm calling out the weapons that I can just, because I played the game so much, I just knew what those weapons were. I'm looking at Ghost Recon Frontline right now. You know what's really reminding me of? Breakpoint. I'm seeing a lot of the same environment.
Oh yeah, it looks just like Breakpoint.
This is. Meanwhile, this is not what anyone wants from Ghost Recon. This is not what we want. Now that's it. Look, I actually enjoyed Wildlands. I thought Wildlands was fun. And I've heard Breakpoint, even though initially it wasn't what people asked for, they got it fixed. But still, it's a far cry, and pun intended there. It's a far cry from what people actually wanted from Ghost Recon. This is, Forte, have you seen the like-dislike ratio on this video?
Oh, 23%.
It is ridiculous. It's got, when I looked at this video so I could record it for the podcast, it had 11,000 dislikes for 3,000 likes.
Oh, that's crazy.
You want to know the last time I saw something? I've seen that twice this year. when the GTA 6 5 trailer.
Oh yeah, they bombed the
They
hell
they
out of
bombed
that
the hell
thing.
out of that for that game looking basically just like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 version, just with probably like 60 frames per second. It's such a cash grab. But also the X Defiant trailer had a negative like to dislike ratio as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't want this. And when this game comes out, it's gonna bomb. Like, people are just tired of Ubisoft dicking them around, I think. What do you think, man?
I don't want to see anything. Like when it comes to anything inside of the Tom Clancy universe, I really don't. Especially this, I don't care about anything in there unless they bring Splinter Cell back. So it's like everything else is like superficial at this point. I'm a huge Ghost Recon and people may not know this, but my love of FPS came. You would think Halo was what did it. Halo is what brung me into like the sci-fi galaxy of more of like playing with friends, co-op style and everything. But Ghost Recon Grawl, the original from Xbox, original Xbox, is where I absolutely got my love of FPS from. Like, clan, I used to do like clan battles and clan wars and stuff like that in that game. That was the first game I went super competitive in and played in tournaments and stuff. And it's just, it's not the same. It hasn't been the same since then. They changed the formula up a lot. They went third person when they started doing the whole Advanced Warfighter stuff during 360, which, let's be for real, Advanced Warfighter was actually pretty cool, really fun. I really enjoyed those games a lot. Yeah. But that was like the beginning of them changing the formula completely up to go into this over the shoulder third person action third person game. And now they wanted to do the whole squad up so you could play with people in parties and stuff, a la like Destiny and stuff like that, but bring it to like fictitious islands and stuff. And they were cool. I think Wildlands was really, really fun, and I know a lot of people that really, really enjoyed it. Breakpoint has some issues, but the game in general was, it was good enough and serviceable enough to be what it is. But for them to go even further in that direction and take all of the single player narrative out of the game pretty much and go to a battle royale, it's like you had all of these other IPs that you tried to, what was it, Hyperscape? You tried to do it with stuff like that, but you see that people aren't gravitating to the ones that you make that are meant to be battle royales. Now you're saying we're just going to take one of the beloved IPs, and instead of innovating on a property that we were doing when it came to Breakpoint into Wildlands, we're just going to take that whole engine and that whole system of the way that the game plays, and we're just going to say, now we're going to add another 96 people to the map and have fun.
Right.
And that's what I don't like about it, because it's kind of like they're punning to say, we're going to sacrifice the single player experience that you were getting in these games, like it or not like it. But we're going to do this in the name of, we know people know who Ghost Recon is. So when they hear Ghost Recon and they hear that it's a battle royale, it's going to mean something to them. And guess what? It may initially, because people, like, it's Ghost Recon, people are going to try it out. But it's just, who knows, when it comes out, it could be great. But right now where I'm sitting at, it just looks like they're taking and grasping at straws, because everything else that they try to create in that market fails.
Yeah.
And it just seems like this game might go in the same direction. And if it does, it's super unfortunate, because a lot of people love Ghost Recon for what it is.
Yeah, I did want to touch on something that Kratowski in the chat said about reusing the same assets, and look, yeah, a lot of games do that. Actually, most games reuse assets, especially if you're doing a sequel to another game. The issue I think that's different with this, and I'll use God of War as an example, because people were talking about the animation of Kratos getting in the boat is the same animation from the original God of War 2018. The difference is that that's a straight up sequel, whereas Ghost Recon, Wildlands, and Breakpoint were being developed at the same time. They were being developed concurrently. And so you're already reusing the assets for a game that literally came out like I think a year and a half after the previous game. And I think the difference with God of War is that it was done so well. What's the purpose of changing it? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think there's a lot of things that was broken in Ubisoft's game design that it deserves to be fixed, or it deserves to be made different or changed, you know? And so, especially when like Breakpoint's supposed to take place, you know, like the way it is, and it's just it's different than strictly just reusing the same assets, because everyone does it. Everyone has to do it. It just makes game development less difficult as is. But when you're taking a brand new IP like X Defiant, and then all of it is basically reuse assets from other games like Watch Dogs and The Division and Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six, and put all into one game. What is that? It doesn't have a personality to me at this point. And so that's what my issues are with this, and the way that, like, I'm not playing Ghost Recon Frontline. I'm just not.
It just reminds me of that bad game that was on Xbox 360 that was called Frontline.
That sounds familiar.
Well, remember it was the oh man, I got Frontline. What was it? Frontline game. Can't remember.
It's cool. It's cool. We don't have to worry about it. I mean, we could move on. Maybe we can move on to something that I think we both gonna be really excited to talk about, and that is Halo. Whoops, let me switch this back.
Oh yeah. We got to talk too. Yeah. Go ahead. Get into this Halo stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have to resize this. Whoops. Let me get this in. Yeah. Why? I don't know why this is like that. Hold up. I'll fix it.
Look at that. Look at those. Look at those legs cut off at the bottom.
Let me give me a second. Go ahead with Frontline real quick. Well, matter of fact, no. Go ahead and talk about Halo, and we can get into it. I'll fix the
yeah. Halo. Man, Halo was fun, really fun. I really enjoy especially the big team. Like Arena was cool. I really like Arena. I think I'm just ready to just jump into Arena because, you know, that's what you predominantly play the most when it comes to Halo. But I was really interested in BTB because the one thing especially with more players on the map, it is everything I thought it was going to be. Pretty chaotic. People not reading their radar and complaining about TTK and stuff like that. But for the most part, the game moved really well. I didn't have any performance issues. I know some people were having some type of hiccups and stuff like that. I was having a couple on the first day when it comes to like geometry stutters and stuff like that. On the Xbox, I had it on PC too, and that kind of got cleared up after the first day of it. It was still kind of prevalent a little bit after the fact, but to the point where it wasn't really noticeable, like I'll say going into Saturday that day. And I mean, 343 got something on their hands here. You know, we give them crap all the time about just the direction that Halo has been going on for a long time now, and I just think that sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes we just gotta like celebrate them and say, yo, you got something on your hands here, and I think it just comes down to what the new maps are gonna play like. I really enjoyed the big team battle map that I forget the name of it, but I really enjoyed that map.
Yeah, I forgot the name too, but yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was Halo, and that's the thing that it is. It's just Halo. It's I felt like the man cannons were in the perfect spots. I felt like weapon and power ups were in the perfect spots. I felt like communication is always key when it comes to playing BTB. Especially if you're trying to take it really serious, there were some really, really cool moments in there with the skewer. I see you running around with one trying to impale this what you actually just did.
Bruh, like I love hitting vehicles with the skewer.
With the skewer, it's crazy. It's very impactful when you do
it. See that whole thing just explode and just like bodies and vehicle parts flying everywhere. It's like it's awesome, man. My bad. Go ahead.
No, it's good. It's like you really can't say anything bad about this game. Like I said, I was saying some stuff on Twitter. Slow-mo was going back and forth with me about just the style of the game and how it's going to land on people long term, depending on the type of games they like to play. And that's more of a me thing because I just like faster type gameplay and stuff like that. But the more and more I played it over the weekend, the more and more I just fell in love with just the simplicity of what Halo is. And I think we kind of need that. We need games that don't try to do 100 different things to try to, make itself stand out. Sometimes all you gotta do is have a gun, a pistol, a couple of power-ups, and just your wits to be able to experience the game. And that's what Halo does. It does it better than I feel like any other type of arena game does in this type of genre. I think the weapons all pretty much feel balanced. I think I remember I heard you yesterday, you were talking about the pistol. I think the pistol, it depends on the map. It's hit or miss. Like for the most part, I don't think it needs a buff. I think that thing is.
I see what you mean. Like for this map, the pistol isn't the best because of how the size of the map.
Yeah, like, for the size of the map. Yeah,
like if someone's across the map, like you're not going to use the pistol to do anything. It's just not
right.
Your pistol is worthless. So
it's worthless unless you inside buildings with people all the time. That's the only time it really functions there. But no, I ain't gonna lie. I enjoyed it, and there's another one. But
I love hitting
I saw that Lee just led and the thing about people don't understand how fast because the skewer it's projectile based, so you gotta lead people. But that thing surprised you how fast
I feel like it's a weapon exclusively. I mean, this may be early on. The full game's not out yet, but I feel like it's a weapon that is exclusively used to destroy vehicles. Because hitting it, like I remember playing in the first flight, and I was like, man, I'm having a hard time hitting even the bots with it. Like I was having. This is the part. You're about to see the part where I jumped in the back of a Warhog with the guy the driving is in the other team, and then I didn't realize it, and then he tried to run me off the cliff, and I killed him. It was actually hilarious. I made a clip of that and put it on Twitter because it was so funny. But no, I find the skewer's usefulness so much more with taking out vehicles, which I thought was important because I heard a lot of feedback from people saying that they thought the vehicles were OP and that it was too difficult to take people out in vehicles. Which, as you saw, I didn't have a problem taking people out in vehicles. So
no, it's all about just being. It's about setting yourself up to be able to do it. Yeah, this is. Hey, you're working right here. You make sure you pick the right gameplay. Someone ain't gonna never show y'all a bad game, y'all. Just let y'all know.
You damn right I'm not.
Never gonna see a bad game, even though
catch a live stream. If you see me playing it live, you'll see a bad game. But
in his video, he was very self-deprecating with saying, I had a lot of games where I was like destroying people with a lot of plus KDs, and there was a lot of KDs where I was sub negative.
Man, hey, look, it's the way it is. That's why I enjoy Halo, because it's like it's sweaty, man. It's super sweaty.
It's so sweaty, bro.
Look, I could play Rogue Company and Splitgate, and I won't pop a sweat an entire play session. I'll play like 10 matches and just dominate everybody for 10 matches. And then I get into Halo and I'll have a great match. And then I'll have a match that I wish never existed. I just wished, like, man, what happened there? Like, what happened to me? And that's you know, like I think I'm a decent Halo player. I'm not like the best Halo player. I'm not Leviathan gamer out here. Shout out to Leviathan, right? But you know, I think I do a decent job. I have fun. You know, it's never like, you know, down all the time, but it's never up all the time either. You know, so it is what it is. But no, go ahead and finish, man.
No, yeah. I mean,
Ooh,
outside of
real
I
quick,
think he tried to get you with a scare, but okay.
no.
Yeah.
There's a bug there. I just saw it. Like I died from the Warhog because like there's a bug with reloading. So you reload, but then you try to shoot your weapon and it reloads again.
It double reloaded you. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, and it was just like I already reloaded. I had the skewer already. I should have been able to blow him up, but I had to reload again, and that's when he took me out. And I was just like, "What the heck?" I already did the reload, so it's just weird like that. But I keep interrupting you. My bad. Go ahead, man.
No. Yeah, that's pistol range right there. Put that pistol to work. But yeah, the game is fun, and the experience is fun, and I think the more and more people you get to play with is the better. But like I said, BTB was really, really fun, and I was happy, and I hope they do another one. I don't think they are. I hope they do another one. And
it might be too soon.
They just need to stop doing these 1 to 5 and 8 to 12. Just leave it open.
Well, like with the first flight, people were like, well, why was it I was able to just keep playing all the matches in matchmaking in the first flight for whenever I felt like doing it, but I couldn't do it in the second one? And it's because the first flight was just you against bots. Yeah, you had 3 other people with you, but that's far less like having to, you know, manage
load on the system.
Right, yeah, having that server having to manage 4 people is different than having it to have to manage like potentially what is big team battle? 24?
Yeah, 12v12.
Yeah, 12v12 or 4v4. So that's less people, and so that's why they had to make sure it was in certain sessions, and that's typical for a lot of flights or betas because they want to kind of stress the servers. They allowed you to play the game in training mode and stuff like that when it was outside the matchmaking sessions, which I think is a good idea to take advantage of. But like, it's during those time periods they really wanted to be able for people to be able to well, at least for them to be able to know what they need to do with their servers to adjust, stress the servers out, so that it's they hopefully at launch the game's not messed up. At launch, right. People are trying to get into the game, they can't get into the game. You know, like that's what they're more concerned about more than anything. Go ahead and finish up, man.
No. That's all I had. I'm really interested to know because you put a lot more time in. I only got a chance to. I played a little. I played a little bit on Friday, and then I played a lot on Saturday. Then I didn't play so much on Sunday. And then when I looked up on Sunday, I forgot that it ended at 12 a.m. So I didn't really get. I only played like 1 or 2 matches Sunday night. I know you were in there a heck of a lot, and you did every platform, didn't you? Did it on your X, not the X, you did it on the S, and you did it on PC, right? Yeah,
the gameplay you're seeing now is on the Xbox Series S, actually. And I'm gonna pull up the gameplay for
that.
The
actually
PC.
Looks really good.
On PC, you're gonna see a small fraction of the issues that I was dealing with, and the reason why I didn't get a chance to play it as often as I wanted to play it. Because I didn't start switching over to playing it on my Series S until like the last day. And then I didn't also find some settings, shout out to Oh No It's Alex, who told me what to do to kind of like help deal with the freezing and the dropping of the frame rate. That was so bad it made it unplayable for me on PC for the vast majority of the time. But
Right.
so like this gameplay is before then. This is like one of my very few matches where I was able to actually play it, and the hitching and the stuttering and the freezing was at a minimal amount. So it looks beautiful on PC. Like it looked good on the Series S. I don't know how many people realized that was Series S gameplay, but
I just until you said it, I was like, yeah, this looks really good for S.
yeah, I think it's 1440p 60 frames per second.
Hmm.
So, which is like the max you'll ever see a game on the Series S.
Well, that's what I always told people, that should be the standard for the generation. 60 frames, 1440p, even for the X, even it should never drop below that, no matter what.
Yeah. Um, my thoughts on it is that this is probably 343's best multiplayer yet. This is their best gunplay yet, I think. It's the game plays really well. It's not as fast as other first person shooters, but it is quicker than like old school Halo. The game is, I think it's got a good balance with the weapons. It's got a good balance with the vehicles. I want to see more modes. And I do wish they would do one more. I agree with you about doing one more flight, so there are more modes to play, and kind of like test out maybe some more big team battle maps or some other maps in general. I would love to see that. I doubt it though. We're almost we're 1 week into October. It's less than 2 months out of it launching, or maybe just straight right on 2 months from being launching. I don't think we're going to get another flight before then. I
I
just,
don't think so either.
yeah, I think it's all done. That's unfortunate. Hopefully we'll at least get to see something of campaign. I think maybe we'll see something from campaign in November, maybe for like the anniversary of Halo. Who knows? But the maps are good. I with the big team battle map that they had us play, it's your typical Halo map where it's very it's symmetrical in the sense that both sides of the map where both teams are allowed to start out with both have the same number of choke points, the same number of spots for people to camp, and it I'll probably show that in a second, some of that map, but because I do have some of that from the Series S. Did you see? Well, you'll see in a second where like the freeze happened, and then like I just like didn't know where I was for a second, then I got killed. It's just, this stuff's annoying, but I'm hoping none of those issues are present when this game launches on PC at launch, because that would be really unfortunate, because I think they have a great opportunity here with Call of Duty looking to have a down year. A lot of Call of Duty fans are disappointed with them going back to World War II,
Right.
having those old-timey weapons. There ain't nobody trying to shoot muskets, you know? and just like Activision not really listening to their Call of Duty community, and then also having Battlefield 2042, which we're gonna get into a little bit later, is going to be some competition. But I think you have very different styles of a shooter with this game and with that game, and I think this is going to resonate with a lot of people. And there's gonna be some people that will be like, "Nah, fam, that time to kill, not for me." And I think that's maybe we can go ahead and get into that. The time to kill argument that has come up in a lot of questions with people in regards to Halo, and I think that's because there's a lot of very new Halo players out here. That there are people who when Halo was popular, they were too young to play it, or maybe they just weren't into shooters at all, or maybe they were into other stuff. And now that, Halo Infinite's out and it's getting all this popularity, and like I'm seeing people like Benji Sales saying that Halo Infinite's popularity, because he tracks stuff like that, saying that its popularity has skyrocketed since the flight started. And
Oh yeah.
and it makes you wonder, like, how so many people never played Halo before. But here we are, and people are shocked that it doesn't play like Call of Duty, which I think is shouldn't be a shock at all. But what do you think about the whole issue with time to kill, man?
Time to kill is whew, I don't think it's not a big problem. I think if you're complaining about time to kill, you need to pay more attention to the stuff that's going on in the game around you. If you practice on your aim and get your aim good, and you'll realize even in every Halo has had shields in it, even the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, the hand cannon, the pistol was a 3-shot kill to the head.
Right. If you land headshots, it doesn't matter if they have a shield. It's about aiming.
It's all about aiming. If every Spartan has 200 health, unless they got the over shield, which takes it up another 100 to 300 health. But outside of that, headshots rule the day. Yeah. DMR and everything from the DMR in Halo 5 to the BR in Halo Infinite.
No.
If you
and you know what,
if you times in the head, it's over.
If you don't want to deal with all that and you want to play Team SWAT.
Oh yeah,
play Team SWAT. Any headshot is an instant kill.
Any weapon doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, right. So just Team SWAT, just run that. Exclusively, and you'll be good. One thing, and I keep seeing in the gameplay, this is like I'm telling you, this is like one of maybe 2 matches I had on PC that actually wasn't as bad as the other ones. What's happening, and you guys probably can't see it in the top right corner, I have my frame rate counter on. Like my typical frame rate counters, like MSI Afterburner, don't work in Halo Infinite right now, or my other FPS counter that I was using for Battlefield wasn't working. So I kind of didn't have a choice when it came to what my options were. There is an in-game frame rate counter that the game has on PC, and so I turned that on, and I see my frame rate averaging 130 to 140 frames per second, and then it drops immediately. It drops to like 60. Drop to 60, and when that's where the freezing and the almost like a skip, where I'm like not in the same place I was before the drop happened, and people I'm shooting at are in a completely different location or a different, they disappeared on me, and it's just like, what the hell's going on? Like that's what's been happening, and they gotta further optimize the game, because I have a RTX 3070, and there are people out here who have, the vast majority of PC gamers have cards that are way less capable than mine, and if that is the case, that means that a lot of other people are going to be having a really hard time if they don't fix these issues before the game comes out. Okay, my bad. Go ahead and continue about the time to kill stuff, man.
No, you're good. I also like how you should have killed the people in that Warhog and you didn't. That Warhog flipped like 5 times.
Yo, I mean, what?
You threw like 2 grenades at that thing.
What am I supposed to do? Like, I was so mad that part. I was like, bro, like I hit him with 1 grenade while he was still in the air. I hit him with another grenade. It flipped again in the air, comes back down. He's still shooting me. Like, how are you still alive? Like, make it make sense.
It didn't make sense. It was really impressive. I was like, oh, he about to get a double kill off the Warhog, and I was like, oh no.
It's just like it just flipping. It's just flipping in the air. He's still shooting me. I'm like, what? Like, no. But it was, if I grazed him with the skewer, that thing would have exploded in 5 million pieces. It's just crazy.
No, but I think TTK is always going to be a talking point for newer people, because it's something that they truly don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think it's just knowledge. It takes like when a person wants to find out and be better at the game, that's when they kind of jump into the whole the manure of actually saying, oh, okay, if I pay attention
the
to my
manure or the minutia.
Did I say manure?
You said manure.
What? There's the word. There's the word for today. Yeah, minutia. Yes, the minutia of. If they want to jump into minutia of what it takes to actually be better at the game, they'll realize that TTK is kind of tied to a bunch of things. Like if you get the drop on people, it feels like people go down a lot faster because you're basically shooting them without any type of recourse and them coming back after you and stuff like that. So I think some people just need to just pay more attention, and TTK will never become a problem for them. Now, there are games where the TTK is really, really fast or really, really long. Halo, I always felt like
that's like literally all the other first-person shooters outside of Halo. Yeah,
it all depends. Like, I mean, you even sometimes I think Destiny's TTK is really, really like they got some stuff in there that's like 0.67 TTK and stuff like that. Where Halo, I think, is always going to be sitting around at like 0.8 or 0.9. It's almost a second depending on the weapon you're using and stuff. So it's just all about just being good and better at the thing. Now, when it comes to Halo, just play the game to enjoy it. And then if you want to take it serious, there's going to be a bunch of game modes out there to take it serious in. But I see you running around with a hand cannon or a pistol. It doesn't seem like your TTK is too slow. I mean, I think it's perfect for the type of fights you're getting yourself in and the engagements you're getting in.
Yeah, so it's used in the right situations.
Exactly.
Certainly. Yeah. I did want to do because I did a video earlier this week talking about this as well, and I did also want to acknowledge that we're not saying that you shouldn't complain about time to kill. Like I don't want that to be the impression that people get. What we're saying is that it's okay if games are different, and I think that all first-person shooters should be different, because what you don't want is
getting used to it.
Yeah, no. What you don't want is all first-person shooters feeling the same, playing the same.
Right.
Nobody wants that. So it's okay when they're different. And I think that there's some people who got really good at one kind of shooter, and so they dominate in that. And so now when they start to play other things, and then it takes patience and time to learn another kind of game, and they just don't have that in them. They just don't have the patience to do that. They just want to play this game the way they play Call of Duty. They just want to play this game the way they play Splitgate or Rainbow Six Siege, whatever, right? They just want to play it that way, and it's like unfortunately, that's just not how this is going to work. Doesn't mean that Halo sucks. It doesn't mean that the games that you play suck. What it just means that this is a different shooter, and that's good, because we want variety. We don't want every game to be exactly the same. No one should want that. So when certain people have preferences that may lean more towards Halo than Call of Duty, that's me. K Asante was in the chat earlier yesterday when I was streaming Battlefield, and K Asante was like, he's watching my gameplay, and he's like, yo, all this does is really make me want to play Halo Infinite more. And I've heard so many people say that after playing Battlefield. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that their preference is more of what Halo does. So.
Yeah, you can't. I think the biggest thing that I know about tick rate becoming a big conversation is mostly due to the fact that Battle Royale has become such a normacy inside of the player in people's playing experiences. People kind of forget that Battle Royale scales up your health a lot in those games. Like your time to kill in a Battle Royale is pretty long. It's like almost probably 2 to 3 seconds, unless you're hitting somebody in the head with a sniper rifle and they're going down right then and there. But if you notice when you're shooting somebody, even in Fortnite, PUBG, Call of Duty, the time to kill is astronomically through the roof in that game, how much longer it takes you to take somebody down. And a lot of people play games like that. So when they go to a game like Halo, where it seems like it's a little bit faster, or that's why you have people that play, they'll play Warzone, but they won't play regular Call of Duty. They won't play regular multiplayer because it's so frantic, and you turn a corner and you feel like it's not that you don't have a chance, but your reflexes have been so catered to the fact that I can still get around this corner, take a little bit more damage, and I can, heal myself back up before I get back into that engagement and stuff, versus in a game like Halo or a game like Call of Duty proper. If you don't turn around and take care of that engagement right then and there, you probably won't make it to where you're going to.
Right. And I definitely agree with that. How much time do we have? It's already 2 hours. I mean, I guess we can speed this up. What are your?
You got something to do?
No, I'm just like I'm trying to be a good host.
Trying to be respectful to these people.
Be respectful to the people's time. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You good. I love you. Just want to make sure that you ain't trying to, you said we can speed this up. No, man, it's going to take as long as it takes.
Whatever. Look, your final thoughts on Halo Infinite, and I guess 2 things. Your final thoughts on Halo Infinite, and when do you think we'll finally see the campaign?
Well, first of all, Strictly Gaming, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for coming through. You said my final thoughts on it, and what was the other one?
Your final thoughts on Halo Infinite, and then the flight, and then when do you think we'll see some campaign? Will we see the campaign before the game launches? Is the next time we see the campaign is when we booting the game up when it launches?
Okay, so we'll see. I do think we'll see campaign on the anniversary day of November 15th. I think that's the day we'll see it.
I agree with that.
If we don't see it that day, you won't see it to the day the game boots up. That's just literally what's going to happen. So I do think the anniversary date, they're going to do a lot of celebration stuff. They're going to finally show campaign there. And I think that's when we're going to get that. Final thoughts on just the flight in general. Pretty amazing and happy, very little issues overall, that were game breaking or anything like that. And I'm at a point now where I do want to get more flights, but I'm more happy with just waiting for the game to come out at this point and just playing it, because I'm kind of like I'm not really a huge heavy beta type person, because I just want to get in there and just experience the game, because none of the stuff we're doing is going to carry over. I want all my stuff to start counting. So will I play another flight? Absolutely. If they don't do one, I wouldn't be mad, because I'm just ready to play the game at this point.
I feel you. All right. So there was another way for us to play something a little early, and that was another game that you're pretty hyped for, Battlefield 2042.
Shout out to Game Pass.
Oh yeah, shout out to Game Pass, because that was a method for people to be able to play it. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you get EA Play with that, which means you had access to play the beta right off the bat, which that was a way a lot of people was able to play it. Also, I think PlayStation was doing a sale for EA Play on PlayStation for like $1 or something like that.
$1 deal.
Yeah, so you can just put the $1 down, play the beta, and then if you don't really care to keep up with it, just cancel afterwards, right? So a lot of people were in the beta. What were your thoughts on it, man?
Listen, I love Battlefield. First of all, let's talk about these. I haven't really played that much on PC, but I really haven't seen that many issues on PC. More just performance stuff with just trying to get it set up with working with your particular graphics card and stuff like that. That's the only kind of thing I've seen. But console wise, there's flickering all over the place. There's server queue issues. It's all types of problems.
Now there's not that many server queue issues on PC, but the flickering, the graphical like mess ups, yeah, all that stuff is there on PC.
Yeah, like like literally look like I'm looking at the side of a building that's like, hey, is there like a lightning storm? Oh no, that building's just flickering because the graphics are just going in and out. So it's pretty crazy. But guess what, though, Slow-Mo? Even with all that being said, it does not impact the the experience of the gunplay.
Mm-hmm.
When you are running across that field and you see all this stuff happening, it was a couple of times I'm like running through a building and all of a sudden, I see the rocket taking off. There's a tornado going off somewhere else. There's lightning storms places. I'm like, yo, this is Battlefield. This is crazy. And then you got 2 or 3 people running in a group that mow you over, and you remember that, oh man, I'm supposed to have been paying attention to what I was doing and not to all the things that's happening in the game. But no, I am thoroughly enjoying this experience, and I'm super glad I didn't get a chance to play in that technical thing that they did a couple of weeks ago, because I probably would have been soured to the experience of Battlefield, because I just wanted to be perfect, and I know it's not going to be, but the fact that it's actually this well optimized right now gives me hope that when the final game comes out, we probably won't see that many bugs. We'll see bugs because there's way more
maps. Dice, bro. You gonna see something.
I'm hoping. Listen. I am hoping. I'm hoping of my all hope that we don't have I don't think we'll have a Battlefield 4 situation. That's what I'm saying. Because Battlefield 4, as much as I loved it, that game was busted for 2 years, and they did a triumphant job of fixing it, but it took them 2 years to do it. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen more. I want to see another map, because we're playing on the same map all weekend. But people,
I heard they have bigger maps than this.
Oh, dude, yeah. There's huge, like I seen a couple of shout out to Level Cap. He's a huge Battlefield. I've been following him ever since like Battlefield 1942 and stuff. And he did some preview stuff on some of the other maps, and some of those maps are pretty incredible. And then you just got to remember, Portal is their makeshift, literally forge for Battlefield, where you're going to be able to just do and make your own rules and go into different versions of the game and have 2042 going against 1942 and all this other stuff, and you're going to be able to play on all those classic maps and everything like that in that game mode. So I think that's where the longevity and where people really truly think this game's going to really shine at, because right now all we're playing is Conquest on this one map. But in general, the game is fun. And I have to just get in there. I got to get in there with you. I got to get in there with Taz, because Taz's been playing it. I know you've been playing it. I know, I was listening to Erica's video earlier today. She was talking about the performance, and she just wants the game to be good, because she's definitely got that Battlefield bug now. And the game's fun, man. And as long as they can fix the performance issues and the tearing that we're getting in the graphical glitches and stuff like that, I'm good. And I'm glad they delayed this game, because it definitely isn't ready to come out. But I can see the potential of a November, I think it's November 22nd release date, when this game is supposed to come out, and I think it's gonna be great, man.
Have you experienced the tornado yet?
No, I have not seen the tornado I want to see. Have you?
Yeah, I actually saw it earlier today.
I've seen the lightning storm, and I've seen the rocket. Have not seen the tornado yet.
So I saw the tornado. I actually ran towards it. I was just like, I gotta see this, because I'm seeing people in their parachutes, and they're just spinning around the thing. Everyone, I see vehicles and choppers and stuff just spinning around, and I was just like, I gotta get in this, man. I left I completely forgot the objective. I completely forgot the point I was trying to take. I was just like, let me just run towards this storm. It was like on the west side of the map. I'm just running. And I got there, and I was trying to find a building to jump off of so I could pull my parachute and just be able to let the storm whip me around, but I couldn't figure it out. But it was, yeah, that was interesting. That was definitely something. I might have to go find. I think I got the gameplay. I think I recorded that actually.
I need to see that if you do, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
So I'm a super Battlefield noob, right? Like I've never really liked Battlefield. I've never really cared for it. Uh, I think I may have the one I may have enjoyed may have been 4. I think I enjoyed a little bit of 4, but not. I don't really care for Battlefield like that. It's never been my jam. But this one I've been having fun with, and I streamed this to the other day when it first started. This is my stream. Again, MSI Afterburner doesn't work on the beta. You can see a massive drop right there. That's the biggest drop I've ever seen with the game. It went from like 80 FPS to 28 just as I was running through some smoke, and it was pretty crazy. But other than that, it's been averaging like 65 to 75 frames per second, mostly staying in like the 75 frames range at ultra settings at 1440p for me on my PC, which I have a 3070. I got a 9700K CPU, overclocked to 4.7 gigahertz, 32 gigs of RAM, using Samsung 970 Evo Pro. Yep. So I have a pretty high end build. It's not. It's a little bit more power performance than you would get from just like your average PC build. So they're definitely going to need to fix the performance. I know there are other people who had a lot of problems getting the game to perform for them. But if only the high end builds are those are the only ones that are performing it well, then you got some work to do, and they have even less time than 343 Industries has with they have even less time than 343 Industries has with Halo Infinite. So right. But I think that even though it's a DICE game and a lot of them come in hot and have a lot of issues at launch, I think this one might have less issues than say Battlefield 5 did. Was it 5 or 4 that was like
4.
Broken? Was 4?
Yeah, 4. 4 was broken.
Yeah, 4 was completely broken at launch, and I don't think it's going to be that bad. The fact that this beta they were able to have 128 people in there, I think says a lot. I enjoy the gunplay. It's the guns are good. I think I got my some of my favorites that I'm comfortable with right now. I didn't quite show it before because I hadn't like at this point in the stream that you're looking at now figured it out. But I like the way you can change attachments on the fly.
Oh, I love that.
That design.
And you usually only be able to do it in the menu. You couldn't do it in game.
Right. And now like I can see myself being in a fight and then like killing someone closer to me, then seeing enemies a little bit further off, and then switching to my my better scope for longer distance, and then using like be able to just put that on real fast and then go back to shooting with that. I can see that being happening big time, and it's just fun. I don't like are the vehicles, and you're probably watching that now. I could not figure this tank out for the life of me.
Vehicles is always a learning curve.
Yeah, man, I was all over the place. I sucked with the tank. I'm just like I don't care about the vehicles. I really don't. I'm trying to run around, shoot people, take points, and try to win the match that way. I enjoyed it though. Now, after my first day, I played it with a buddy of mine. Shout out to Blue. Me and her played it. She is one of my Division peeps where I used to play the Division with all the time, and so it was fun playing with her. Even though it was still fun earlier today, I had slightly less fun playing by myself. That's the difference that I noticed for me personally between Halo Infinite. With Halo Infinite, I had just as much fun with playing with other people as I did playing by myself. And so I can just tell like in a couple of months which game I'm going to be playing with more. I'll still play this because I have EA Play Pro, and so I'll have access to it on PC regardless, and crossplay will be there at launch. So if you're playing on PlayStation or Xbox and you're trying to squad up, I can still squad up with you. But this is probably going to be a game I play with friends, because not being able to communicate with people, and there's a particular, like, there's like this tunnel that goes under
Oh, the tunnel that goes underneath the ramp that goes up to the rocket. Yeah.
right, and so that tunnel is just a kill zone, and
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to tell, like, I wanted to kind of tell my teammates to hold off and like start throwing grenades to clear some of the enemies that were basically camping in there waiting for us to come down and so they could shoot us up. Like, throw some grenades down there. They weren't listening, and we ended up just like they ended up just getting killed, and I'm just sitting there back in front of the entrance waiting for them to come around the corner, because it's like now 5-on-1 because all these idiots just ran into a hail of bullets and grenades. And it's just like, man, I really need to communicate. Of course, with 64 people on your side, you're not going to be able to communicate with all 64 of them. But
it's all about that 4-man squad, though.
Yeah, get a 4-man squad. You guys roll together. You could be taking all the points down. Like, I can see a solid 4 people who are really good at first person.
People can win a game.
Yeah, easy. Even with this, right? Although I think I didn't get a chance to play the other modes, and I know there's going to be more kind of like arena style modes and not like this big stuff like this. But
yeah,
when that's available, I probably would play more of that than this, because it's 64 people is a lot. I mean, 64 against 64 is a lot of people. But
they spread it out a lot, though. I mean, you can go traveling and not run into somebody for a while.
Yeah, and that's those lulls is what I don't really care for that. I don't really care for having to like I kept making the mistake of choosing the wrong location that I didn't mean to choose, but like once you choose it, you chose it. And so now you're committed, and now I'm like half a whole map, like half the map away from the action, and now I'm running, for the next 2 or 3 minutes. That's annoying to me, and I much rather have like Big Team Battle in Halo it's a big map, but it's nowhere near this big. This is like a battle royale map.
Oh yeah, I try to tell people that you want team-based battle royale. That's what Battlefield is.
Yeah. But no, I have fun with it though. I think it's going to be for, if you're a Battlefield fan, you're probably going to really enjoy this. And I think everyone this holiday that is a fan of Halo and Battlefield when it comes to PvP are going to be in for a treat. The Call of Duty guys though, they probably won't have to pick and choose which one they want to roll with. Because I don't think Call of Duty is going to be hitting this year.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna be like I'm mad about it. I got Battlefield, so.
Oh, actually, let me go find the footage of the tornado. That part was freaking hilarious. Give me a second. But no, go ahead. Matter of fact, here's a question for you. Which game do you see yourself? Let's say it's December 15th, and you're about to sit down after a long day of work and play a multiplayer shooter. Which one are you gonna play?
It depends. If I'm playing with friends, probably Halo. Battlefield, I'm kind of opposite from you. I can play Battlefield by myself. I can play Conquest by myself. It's one of those games where I feel like I could challenge myself by just playing with the people I have. So if it's a game that I'm going to be playing predominantly by myself that day, then yeah, it's going to be Battlefield. If my friends say I want to play some Halo and we get into it, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be that. But if it really doesn't come down to that at all, it's going to probably just be Battlefield over everything for me, at least for the first month that the game is out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like the reverse. I'm probably going to be playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer more, and kind of like bringing it into my rotation. I got like a lot of first person shooters that, not just first person shooters because Rogue Company's third person, but I play a lot of multiplayer games, and so my rotation is Splitgate and Rogue Company, and then like I'll play some other things like here and there to and then maybe stop playing them. But Splitgate and Rogue Company are like in the permanent rotation. I can see Halo Infinite jumping in there and being one now, like 1 to 3 instead of just 1 to 2. But that's it for me. Actually, I want to make a poll actually, and this poll question is going to be, which shooter are you most interested in? And it's going to be Halo Infinite and 2042.
I think a lot of people are going to pick Halo just because they were probably way more surprised than what they got from Halo.
You think so?
I think a lot of people wasn't expecting the polish that Halo gave them, honestly.
Well, I mean, that's kind of based off of 343's reputation, one, and two, the way the campaign looked. Now, none of this says anything about the campaign. I kind of feel like Halo Infinite's campaign, you still won't show it. We haven't actually seen actual campaign since summer, June of 2020. It might be a little it might be pretty bad. So I'm kind of like, I'm a little iffy on it. I think the multiplayer is going to sustain it, especially because it's free. But I think that campaign might be a problem. And visually, I think it'll be fine visually. I think they wanted to make sure after the first showing that visually there's nothing that people will complain about. And I think that it will be fine visually. But as far as story goes, as far as whether it's going to be a buggy mess, they not having features that have been mainstays of Halo from the very start, like co-op campaign, like not having that stuff. I don't know. You're not able to get that out by launch tells me that you got a lot of stuff to work on and fix that you feel is more important. And if those things are more important, then you've got a lot of problems. And I don't know. We'll see with that. I just realized I didn't notice it when I was playing, but that vehicle fell out of the sky and flipped like twice, and then took off driving. Like, that's not freaking possible. I said I was going to show you the tornado. Hold up.
I know, man. You ain't showed me the tornado yet.
Where is it? It was near the end. There it is. What up? Crap. No. Get the tornado. Why is it?
I need to see the tornado. Ooh.
Yeah, here we go. Turn around.
Yeah, guys in the chat, let us know what take the poll. Let us know which one you like more, the Halo
Infinite's winning so far.
Oh yeah, I told you. I think a lot of people are gonna like the Halo Infinite more than anything.
There it is, tornado. Look at that. That's pretty awesome.
Let's see, it's up yet almost. Oh wow. Yeah, that's
got
crazy.
Lightning and everything. You see the people with their parachutes out. One guy got lifted up into it. I was like, see, that's what I wanted. I was trying to get my parachute out. I didn't know how to do that. I know you gotta jump from like a high height and then hit the X button or whatever to get it out. But like, I just couldn't get it out. But it was that was pretty cool. I was like, that's the one thing I really wanted to see with the weather effects. I think that's a pretty cool idea of them adding that in there. And yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that looks like you running towards the.
I was just like, I clearly did what a black person would never do.
Like a moth to a flame.
I said, "That's the tornado. I'm running towards it."
It's about to lift you off the ground in a minute.
Yeah, and then I saw some people, and I was like, maybe I should actually shoot them before they start shooting me. But no, like, yeah, I think the game's going to be a lot of fun. It's something else that I think that's kind of scary is that it's probably going to be way more buggier than what we think, just because even the console versions are having problems. So like when it
Yeah.
came to Halo Infinite, the Xbox Series X and S, the X, from what I heard, was probably the best performing one based off of like consistency and stability, and the the S was pretty good too, and the PC was all over the place. It was just bad on the PC. From what I've been hearing with Battlefield, there are people who there people on having issues on PlayStation, on both Xbox Series versions, and PC. And I'm just like, man, is there any platform that's stable? I don't think so right
None of them
now.
are safe.
So, but yeah, I think that's it, man. We knocked out all the topics.
Yay! We killed it. And we're under 3 hours, so it's not gonna take forever.
Oh yeah. We're definitely under 3 hours. I was not trying to have us here to 1 a.m. talking about this, but Forte, let everyone know what you got planned for the rest of the week, and what's going on and where they can find you.
Yeah, man, it's great show as always, bro. You always kill it when you host, and truly appreciate it. But yeah, for me, got a couple things going on in the channel. We'll be announcing stuff later. But yeah, playing a lot of Battlefield for the rest of this weekend. Picking up that it's gonna be funny because I don't even know if I'm gonna get a chance to play Metroid this weekend. So that's something that I'm actually going to see if I can actually do. But outside of that, man, it's Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. DPS podcast on my channel next week for episode 55. And yeah, guys, have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the games that you're playing.
Yep. For me, I'm still gonna be streaming, of course. I'm still working on my videos. I don't want to give you guys a timetable and end up missing it like George R. R. Martin. I feel like George R. R. Martin right now when it comes to the the Game of Thrones books, where I'm always saying I think it will be out at this point, and it's not. So I don't want to disappoint you guys with that. So I just let you know I'm still working on it. But in the meantime, I will be streaming when I have the opportunity. I hopefully will be finishing. What's it called? Bioshock Infinite soon. And once I get through that, I might actually play Bioshock 1. Because I got the entire collection for Bioshock on Steam for like $15 a little while ago. So I got all the games now. So I might just play through all of them, or we'll see what happens. Shout out to After His Passion. We gotta salute you, bro. You're such a good supporter, man. He put the $20 super chat, says, "Thank you, gentlemen. Great show." We thank you, sir. We thank you for always showing up and showing out in the chat, and just being an awesome contributor to the show, man. You're a cool dude. But yeah. You could catch me on Twitter and Twitch by the same name, Slow Mo Backslap. And I don't think I'll be involved in too many Twitter spaces anymore.
You kicked out of all of them?
Yeah, I don't want to get kicked out of any more Twitter spaces. You know how it is, man. People can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
They can't handle it, bro.
Are you trying to say you're the new truth of YouTube?
No. I'm just saying, like I say things and people don't like it, and then they kick you out and they say it was you left. I didn't leave. No, let me stop now. Hope you guys have a great night. I know it's late, but take care of yourselves and play your games. Peace out.